Good evening and afternoon, role players, fans of roleplay, and other cool compatriots. I am Young Foxy, and tonight I will be running you and my lovely adventurers here through Toward the Farthest Dawn, a Starfinder one-shot written for us by us here during Black History Month. This is a very, very important adventure to me, something I wrote myself and have a lot of attachment to. I have three amazing adventurers who I have handpicked from the farthest corners of the roleplay world, who I will allow that to introduce themselves now. We'll go in overlay order. I'll call you out, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, who you're playing tonight, and keep it just pretty simplistic stuff, And we'll start with Alicia.
Hey, I'm Alicia, or Energy 9, and I will be playing Pi tonight.
And who is Pi?
Pi is a Vesk technomancer.
So for those who are not acclimated to Starfinder, the Vesk are a massive crocodilian lizard-like species known for their aggressiveness and their cunning. But in this case, a technomancer is a person who blends science and magic into a crazy combination. And if you are looking for technomancers, don't worry, because we have more of them. But for now, speaking of which, we'll go to our second adventurer, Mr. Robotic Gentleman.
Hi everyone, I'm Robotic. I'm Robotic Gentleman. I will be playing 11. He is a android technomancer. I would say I hope you guys enjoy that we're having tonight, and I hope we all can come together and learn a little bit about each other.
Such would be the game plan for us to come together and through this adventure, maybe learn a bit about ourselves and hopefully have a great conversation about it afterwards would be the great idea. And without further ado, I will pass it off to my last adventurer, but certainly anything but the least, Mr. Ark Dragon's Breath.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ark. I will be playing Sorgo Lex, also a Vesk, but a soldier.
Yeah, we thought one lizard wasn't going to be enough, so we said, we're going to bring one more. So if you're keeping track, we got 2 technomancers, 2 Vesks, and 3 incredible adventurers. And with nothing else to be said, I'm going to go ahead and carry us forward into the world, as it were, give you guys a little bit of backstory, back intro, and then we'll take ourselves on in. So our adventurers are sort of acclimated into an investigation group. They do everything from private investigation to bodyguarding, contracting, whatever you can find throughout the galaxy, because there's always work to be found in the darkness of the stars. And in particular, I'd like to begin, should I say, with a brief description of the world we are in, right? In the time before the Great Peace, the galaxy lit itself ablaze. Old grudges, new beliefs, and senseless hatreds all alike spilled over into open conflict as no corner of the cosmos was spared from the wrathful flames of conflict. To this day, the final death toll is still being tallied. It is out of this carnage that forward hope was created. Under the decree of the last emperor, the Seven Sons regime ordained to construct a massive defensive station at the border of their territory. To do this, they required a near global population-sized workforce. So they found one. Native to the scorched deserts and jungle oases of the planet Atella, the Unix people are an insectoid species with a strong connection to the tradition and community. With their world nearing complete destruction and effectively a veritable wasteland as a result of the galaxy-spanning war, the regime began forced transfer of Unix people from their homeworld to Forward Hope, telling them it was an act of mercy to save them from their dying world and demanding constant and dangerous labor in return for their kindness. So now that we have established a bit of our world, I will kind of put ourselves, our adventurers in. The Great Peace has lasted nearly 130 years. The old empires are dead and gone. The remnants of the war that once sent the stars ablaze littered across the galaxy that has since fallen to relative silence. One such relic of this bygone era, sitting in repose in the perch in the heavens above the cracked and broken world, is Forward Hope, a space station on the scale of a small nation, hosting a population of around 150 million. Forward Hope was built to be a defensive bastion against the enemies of the Seven Sons regime. But only a scant few years before the conflict, before it could finish, the regime fell. And shortly after, the wars ended. Thus, the people living around Forward Hope forged a new society and government for themselves, and have been living this way since. Having only begun to make contact with the wider galaxy, Forward Hope has been reaching out in a mad dash to rapidly improve the infrastructure of the ring and diplomatic stances of the area. Hiring everything from capable prospectors, architects, merchant traders, mining corporations, security contractors, and even mercenary groups to assist in that project. Recently, citing an incident on causing some on-site hazards and possible loss of life. A call has been put out for anyone willing to assist in the control of a construction zone deep in the lower rings. And from that, we will enter into the world as I set the scene with some cool sounds. So you friends are currently aboard a massive transit ship, the three of you, as your group is traveling together. You were kind of told by your contractor that you were heading out to the deep parts of the galaxy, super far out from the, from known space, but not, not out in the middle of nowhere, obviously. And thus you are aboard this massive transport ship. It's not too densely packed, but there's certainly maybe a fair bit of chatter about, so to speak. That's not what I wanted, is it? Hold up, wait a second. I'm so sorry. It's already happening. Oh no. We'll go with this. Here we go. Yeah. Already hearing a little bit of chatter going about the ship. So as you are moving about the ship, you are seated in your seats. All right. Here we go. The passenger cabin of the transport shuttle shudders slightly as the ship glides out of the low drift tunnels and travels back to the familiar star blanket, a void of real space. Through the viewport, you can see the orange-white glow of the star Datal, though its intensity is dimmed by the carbon glass. As the ship continues to ghost out of the force of its plasma thrusters, you can see at the lower edges of the viewport a dull sphere of what could have once been a world, though its surface is split and fractured, bright lines of magma flaring in places that the ruined planet was splintered open. Above it, a massive cylinder with 3 thick rings enclosing it rests stagnantly in the void, glowing steadily bigger as the ship approaches it to dock. Heavy VTOL engines turn to the lower positions, the ship powering through a wide-mouthed docking bay and busy with incoming and outgoing traffic. One last look at the soft blue, artificial gravity reasserts itself, and the ship officially comes in for a landing. And you are officially allowed out through a massive docking door. A sort of large door opens up in the portcullis in front of you, and in front of you, you see a massive open spaceport. Ships flit about left and right, landing and making themselves up. It's certainly a busy day in this transit port. Think of the busiest train station you can think of, triple the amount of people that are in it, and also add flying cars. That's effectively what we're gonna go for. And as you exit the docking bay, you notice that a small communicator pings on whatever your communicator is located, whether it's your wrist or built into your brain or whatever it is. You notice a small ping going off as each of you are receiving an active call. I would like to assume you investigate it.
11, I go ahead and investigate.
As 11 goes to take a look at the call, you notice the sort of very furred face of your contact, Jolly Tor. He is a small, fox-like individual who stands humanoid on his hind legs. You know him for his mechanic skill. He tends to hire you guys out for jobs every now and then. I'm hoping you guys can all see him there. So, as you enter the call, he says, Yo, am I coming through? You're on damage your own space. I'm testing your communicators. Can you hear me?
Well, hi there. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, thank the Christs. Forward Hope's on the edge of space, and I'm not exactly sure what you're supposed to be doing out there, but as far as I know, someone's supposed to meet up with you and help you guys out. If you have any questions of me, ask them now, because I cannot promise your signal will stay stable this whole time.
Who's our contact?
Yeah, who's our contact? What do they look like? Stuff like that.
If I had any of that information, I'd probably be giving it to you already. All I can tell you is sit tight in the docking bay for a few minutes, and someone should approach you guys. It should give you some info on the job and maybe anything you need to know. I wish I had more info for you guys, but it's a strange job, so to speak.
Well, do you at least know which is the best place to get food from?
Well, from what I understand, you landed in the middle ring, which is where the metropolitan hubs are in the area. Forward Hope hasn't been mapped too well by anybody outside of the ring itself, so you probably have to ask a local or anything, but start there.
All right, fair enough.
And also, Pi, please get the mission done first before you eat.
But brain power needs food, don't you know?
Yes, I know, but we have to stay focused. And as this conversation sort of spirals on, you will notice sort of a small bit of clanking as a mechanical figure approaches you. It is bedecked in a yellow and white color scheme, and it slowly moves towards you. Let me see. So, after a few minutes of waiting around the docking bay, you're met by a custodial unit who approaches them. Colored in yellow metal alloys and painted here and there with a bit of white flourish, the unit marches robotically towards them and offers a clipped bow at the waist before addressing them. Greetings! I am custodial unit 1216. You may refer to me as 12 for your convenience. My assigned duty is to connect you with your accommodations here on Forward Hope, as well as with your assignment contact. Parameters dictate which of these I must do and in which order. So I will now query you for your identifiers and confirmation of your contacted business.
All right.
All right.
I'll step forward. Where's our contact for this job?
1216 will kind of look you in the eye. You'll notice that the blues of his frame kind of shift over to a green quickly as he sort of maybe runs biometrics on you. Got quick information, maybe runs a quick scan. And after a moment of silence, he confirms that you people are who he's looking for. And rather than answering your question, he simply offers a very, very robotic kind of like wave off to the side as if saying like, follow this way. And then begins to move with a like, almost like, kind of like Alfred Pennyworth, hands behind him, very, very clipped, like, Butler-like march off into a distance.
Pi's gonna jog after, saying just like, they seem real friendly. I like them.
Pi, ever the friendly associate. Everyone else?
Sorgo continues, but he's just kind of eyeing the people in the vicinity, trying to figure out what kind of place they've been sent to.
Awesome. So, is there anything anyone would like to do as you're walking? Because he's leading you through a few streets, kind of taking you through a turn here and there towards a certain direction. Is there anything that you feel you'd like to do while you're sort of walking with him? Any sort of you want to check out or investigate while you're doing so? You want to look around at?
I'm broke.
I mean, Pi is looking for food places as we're traveling. I thought that was obvious.
Priorities. Gotta have priorities.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right. Well, as you pass through, anyone who wants to can give me a quick engineering check.
That's a thing I'm good at, I think.
There you go.
I certainly hope it's better than mine.
So you have that team dynamic going.
If I click it. 15.
Anybody else? Olivia, you want to give it a shot? I think you mean the robotic. No. Oh, cool. 17. All right. Awesome. Perfect. Just what we needed. 11. You will notice that the android in front of you is not so much an android like you, but is rather a lion-produced synthetic humanoid of baseline virtual intelligence. It's not trained to deviate from its pre-programmed mechanics, and it basically will sort of remain directly focused on whatever task it's been given and not really deviate or even answer questions that don't necessarily relate to its direct task it's been given. Probably why I wasn't answering you guys to your first questions. It basically speaks in buzzwords in simple sentences. You also notice that based on the design, it seems to be of SecTech Design, which is a commonplace security company that makes a run of generic weapons, personal defense weapons, service robots, and security systems that are used throughout the galaxy. So as you follow along this sort of long winding path from the landing bay, you will be taken eventually up to a massive elevator and brought to an orbital landing pad rooftop landing pad is the word I'm looking for. There's a couple different hover cars parked already. At this point, you're maybe a good 30 or 40 stories above the ground, as it were. It's hard to say ground because if you look up, there's just, well, more ground. It's a ring after all. So you are put onto this hover car. 1216 basically informs you that he will take you to your accommodations first, and you will be staying here on the middle ring. He sort of offers another clipped bow as he opens the sort of rear door of a yellow and white, similarly painted to him, hover car, and sort of ushers the three of you inside in the back, and then takes a spot in the driver's seat, plugs himself in via some cords and connectors, and takes off to join the rest of the air lanes around you. So during this time, I want to give you guys a moment to sort of, as you're looking around the sort of around you, there's everything you can see from billboards to massive stacks of buildings. You can see the small dots of people in the airlanes as you're traveling. If anyone's not particularly interested, that's fine. You can remain aloof as you like. But if anyone wants to sort of have a look around and see what they can see, I would like you to roll for me a D8.
A D8?
A D8. For those who are at home, this is not a perception check or any kind of thing like that. I'm literally I made a table of random things they can see while they're looking outside and detailed them because I don't sleep. A 3. So we'll go one at a time. Pi, as you look off to your left, you see a starport, maybe perhaps a docking bay next to the one you entered through. The sleek and distinct geometries of small spacecraft flit about to find a landing space, while a massive hulking mass transporter flits about in the void of space. Sorgo, as you are looking around, you notice 11. Are you taking a view check?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. So I'll do 11 actually, and then Sorgo will come right back to you because Sorgo's is a little bit important. 11. You see a large stack of what could be a residential section. if you want to take another engineering check for me real quick, 11.
My computer is slow.
Take your time, boss. We have nothing but time in the world right now. Everybody's here for you.
Yeah, so I can use the backup PC.
You good. It's all good, man. We make do with what we got when we have to. Perfect. All right, so you see a large stack of what you looks to be a residential section. A DV, so you checked it already. Determined that it definitely was meant to be sort of a massive station barracks, or maybe even some sort of storage center for ammunition of some kind, or something like that. But was definitely ripped apart and converted into a residential block, and it's a massive sort of several stories high. You're about 30 or 40 stories in the air in the air lanes that you are, and it stands up maybe a good 30 or 4 stories above even where you are. It's a massive residential section. So the two of you continue to look around, silently and, observing the area. You'll notice for a fact even that 1216 will begin to whistle a small elevator tune as you're all kind of humming along and as just traveling your wrists. And as you're driving along, Sorgo, you turn off to your right, maybe even a little bit bored with all of this rigmarole. Head in your hand, you look off to the right, and you notice a large glass pane that looks to be some kind of storefront. And in fact, there's a sign outside of it with a massive gem, a cartoon diamond of some kind, clearly a jewelry store of some variety. But not a moment after you turn to look at it, the front glass of that store shatters. It explodes almost. Glass flies everywhere. People on the street go running, ducking for cover, just screaming in panic, all sorts of strange noises. And a group of individuals, each of which has about 4 arms, jumps out of the front window. One of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, in fact, are each double fisting massive bags of something, you imagine, and are sprinting down the street off out of sight. People are still fleeing and running. 1216, however, hasn't stopped driving. Just continues to move.
Is it common to ignore petty theft?
Well, 1216 says, turns to you almost in a super quick manner. Well, crime in the lower ring is not especially uncommon on Forward Hope. It doesn't often escape into the middle ring too often, but it's not necessarily too uncommon to have happen. Not to worry, Texas Security will take care of this. Instead, we should continue moving. I hope you enjoy your stay here, and then continues to drive.
Where is our accommodation? What ring?
As you say that, you see yourself pull over into a massive sort of another one of those like massive kind of hab complexes. You land on the rooftop of this one. You're led out. You're led through another sort of walkway and then down another elevator. Maybe down from, again, this one maybe like 130 so stories up, maybe a little bit higher. You're gonna know about the 100th or so. Not exactly penthouse status, but about 100 or so feet up. You are taken to the front of a small office door. 1216 will stop in front of that office door after swiping a small scanner, at which point he will say to you, I will remain out here for a while you get accustomed to your rooms. When you are ready, I'll take you to your contact. He will then open said door, and I will, give me 1 second to grab all you guys' tokens. This is the thing I'm supposed to do ahead of time, right? Do the thing. Do the thing. I'm on the wrong layer, that's why.
Julie, do the thing.
High quality stream, right? It's all good, don't worry, here we go. So I'm gonna drive you guys over to the next map. And you guys are officially in your domicile. You enter and see a sort of very well furnished, high level apartment. In fact, if you are paying particularly close attention, you can almost hear the wind from outside of your window, just to sort of, because you're so high up. You can hear the wind.
Where's the room service
outside
menu?
of your window.
Where's the room service menu?
If you'll notice, there's a couple different things in the room. I'll get right to that. The first thing you'll notice, there's a central living room right about here-ish. It is has a decorated glass table and a pair of couches in front of a large flat screen vid screen. A data pad with local shops and attractions is resting on the corner of the table. The second thing you'll notice is a fully stocked large kitchen with cooking utensils and dishes, as well as a few bottles of GenCorp brand alcohol. Tastes kind of like shit, but it gives an okay buzz. The third thing you'll notice is a large bathroom with 2 sinks and a few different interesting looking facilities, likely to accommodate the many ways different species have to relieve themselves. It's a big galaxy. And lastly, individual bedrooms for each of you, complete with a bed, a desk with vanity mirror, a rolling chair, and a small chest for personal storage. You have this personal time to do whatever you would like to in the rooms.
All right. 11's gonna go over to the window. Can I see the bank robbery from here?
Actually, could you give me a perception check? Sure.
Yeah.
So you give me that check, and while you're doing that, 11, well, everybody else let me know what they're doing as well.
Wait, so with the kitchen, is the fridge like stocked or
Oh,
anything?
it's if you so Pi walks over to these sort of storage containers over here. Rather than having one massive fridge, there's sort of these two compartmented, almost like storage lockers. When you get close enough to them, you can definitely feel that they're like meant to be kept at a temperature. You know, they're different degrees of cold to frozen. And as you open different ones, you'll find one is sort of stocked with various meats, one's full of vegetables, one's full of some sort of nutrient paste things, one's full of rocks for some reason. Like
Pi takes one of everything, including the rocks, because she's curious.
Fair enough. There's also a small counter ahead of you. On the counter, you can see a bag of some kind of generic food item. It's almost like a sort of small chip crisp. It's meant to be a meal replacement. You have 3 or 4 of them, and it just fills you up. Tastes kind of like trash. And next to that, you can see 2 or 3 bottles of this GenCorp brand alcohol. It tastes kind of like trash, but it's meant to kind of give you a buzz as fast as possible. So like you can take like a shot of it, and it won't taste well, but it'll get you going. You know.
So
FoXXii, kind of like Don Julio.
Remember that thing I said that technically is possible to happen, but usually doesn't happen for non-D&D systems?
Did it just happen?
So it happened.
Oh, god damn it, guys!
Do you want to roll a d20 and tell me what you roll?
100%. All right. So for those who aren't aware what's happening, some generous soul decided to donate enough to roll on the deck of TPK things. So we're gonna roll on a d20, and unfortunately, most of the things on this are D&D related. So it's on me, your lovely game master, to immediately flavor whatever happens into a Starfinder thing. Cole, I rolled an 18 on that. So let's see. Who was the lucky person, by the way? Who can I thank for that?
So in chat, that was T Zinch.
Oh, is that Zinch? Chaos god of magic, trickery, deception, and confusion? All hail the great changer of ways? That's right. I'm a Warhammer fan. You got it. There you go.
Did you say you rolled an 18?
I rolled an 18.
All right, this one's actually very good.
Oh, here we go. What we got?
It can work out really well. I need you to roll. You need to either pick a character, or roll to decide on a character, or we can decide this thing applies to all characters. But I'll read you. Actually, you know what? Just to keep the mysteriousness alive, I'm going to DM FoXXii and let him take it from here, and I will go back into the shadows. So you have the DM, FoXXii. If you need me, just yell out to the abyss.
Mysterious.
Oh, this is actually perfect.
Ooh.
You know what? This is perfect actually. Okay, so I can't. Okay, so to keep this the maximum possible mystery, I will call out when it becomes relevant, but I'm not gonna mention what has just happened. But a thing has just happened somewhere in the etheric winds, perhaps, for our technomancers, somewhere in the drift, you can feel a change, as if the winds of the universe are perhaps blowing a slightly different way. Things just seem maybe a little fortunate for y'all, if we'll just see. Thank you so much for that, guys. You guys are so awesome. Turkey, you're so fucking great. So that's a thing. And we're gonna go ahead. So anybody else want to do anything else? So we got Piney looking around for snacks, prepping a fine meal for our party. We've got 11 going off to look for the robbery scene, which I will get to in just a moment. Sorgo, what are you currently up to, boss?
I rolled a 4.
Oh, well, we'll get to it. Don't worry about it. Sorgo, what you up to, boss?
Just shaking his head as he watches Pi raid the fridge.
Hey, listen, someone's got to keep track of them, all right? Someone's got to be responsible here.
I imagine for some reason Pi has like the rock in her mouth and turns over just like, hey, who are huh? I hate hi.
Sorgo, you want to give me a quick culture check?
Sure.
Super quick. Real quick one.
Culture is not high.
More than fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I was gonna take most rolls will be fine. Anything but like a 1 I would have been cool with. So Sorgo, in your time as a soldier, as a mercenary, you've seen plenty of different combat grounds and battlefields. You recall one time you spent time on a planet where all the people there were actually made of rare gems, and they consumed the stones there on that planet and turned them into the gems that made up their body. So you're a little confused as to why Pi, otherwise biological being, is trying to eat a stone. But yeah, that's why they're there. You figure there are probably some other, lithoid-like or, stone-like species.
Your head is hard enough as it is. Get that out of your mouth.
It was salty.
Most minerals are.
I hear some are sweet though.
We're no fun.
If you think about it. And 11, as you go to eye the window, you can definitely still see a slight sort of billowing of smoke, whatever the sort of, I guess the culprits used to break that glass window is left a bit of debris. It's a bit high up, and you can't really see too well, but you can see some hover cars kind of zooming by. I'm getting to arrive on scene that have some sort of whirring lights and sounds going outside of them. Probably some sort of sector security on their way to make sense of the scene. As you all sit about and make your time, try to make yourself comfortable, you notice that the vid screen comes on, and in front of you, you see sort of just like a small symbol. It's a weird, so the symbol for Forward Hope, which you saw outside of the station, is a sort of a massive cylinder with 3 rings around it, inside a yellow circle. The symbol you see is that, but that symbol is actually just the small sort of repose of a large S inside of a big sort of like larger orange circle. And so you see this symbol pop up on your vid screen for a while. There's a sort of small, quick little chime playing. And then a voice comes over the vid screen and says, "Well, hello, adventurers. I was hoping I'd get my hands on a worthy, able-bodied group of people to take care of this task for me. You need not to worry about my face. You'll be meeting me very soon. You've already met my androidly compatriot out by the door. He'll be bringing you to me shortly. I just wanted to make sure I checked in with you and ensure that Forward Hope is treating you well. Have you found your accommodation to the liking?"
Yeah, charming neighborhood.
Yes, I am getting reports now that there was a sort of a break-in somewhere in the middle ring. Not to worry, not a thing that happens too often. And tech security up there is very, very tip-top. They will handle that problem with no issue. You friends can instead focus on, let's say, larger issues. If you enjoy your accommodations, you should know that they are coming to you courtesy of Forward Hope and SecTech. I only secure the best for my adventurers. Now then, not to force you to rush, but I'd suggest you not dally and alert 1216 whenever you're ready, so we can have you head down to the lower ring where you can meet me. I'll see you then. And that voice will just cut right off. The screen will just cut right off.
Well, they seem friendly.
11's gonna look over at you two. Are you guys done eating?
Never.
I haven't started.
But we can go.
11's
Are there any of those brown things with the stretchy sweet inside?
I asked if you wanted me to. And like Pi will like hand over. You could generously call it a sandwich. It's an amalgamation of food that you can in fact hold and will hold its shape somehow. Here,
Nice,
give it a try.
On second thought, I think we should just go. And he'll just kind of shake his head at this.
You never want to expand your palate, and it's disappointing.
Great. Well, if we're done bickering about snacks and our respective food palettes,
we can head out.
As you head out of the door, you will see that the android has literally not moved a single hair's breadth from that step from where he left outside. He will immediately notice your presence, offer a clipped salute, and begin stepping off back towards the hover car. He will take you off towards. You noticed this as you were flying through the airlines previously, but you didn't really pay much attention to them. There are these sort of massive sort of spires, the thin, maybe plastic alloy tubes that run from the edge of the ring to the middle spire. They seem to be some kind of transit tube or maglev tube, and 1216 kind of takes you through the through a docking bay outwards into back into the airlanes, travels for a bit, and then has you land near one of those transit tubes. You're brought aboard a massive transit plane. You don't have to scan any sort of anything like this. It's all just like a free transit that runs every few minutes. There's a bit of a waiting and announcement. You're kind of waiting about the plane. There's some more chatter going on all around you. You know, some more people talking their talk in various different languages, some of which you may recognize, some of which might be a little too foreign. There is also the distinct sound of a quick. I thought I put this one somewhere. This is why you're supposed to sort your soundboards, kids. You know what? Not gonna worry about it. Oh, here we go. I found it. So yeah, you'll hear a sound like this.
Please report any suspicious activity to your nearest peacekeeping officer. A vigilant population is a safe population.
A quick announcement, and as that announcement happens, a rush of motion will happen. And so you're taking into this massive sort of red and white, sort of a mixture of metal and plastic alloy, to very, very clean looking tube with these long white seats you can kind of sit yourselves in. There's almost very little time for you to get yourself into a seat. You notice everyone kind of very quickly packs themselves in as quick as they can and shrinks for a seat. And you might have wondered why, and without even being able to properly ground yourselves, you notice that very quickly the doors shut and the train just shoots off back down the way. It shoots off towards the middle of the ring. It ends up, you see yourself quickly approaching this massive central spire. You enter into it to see there is sort of just a bunch of massive cargo lifts and transit hubs taking people up and down different various things. You assume these are primary transits in between the rings, large enough to fit maybe a small starship if you really wanted to, or at least the parts of one. You take one of these, and as opposed to the one that's going up, which seems very, very crowded, and a lot of people are moving on to that one. There's another one preparing to go down, which you and maybe 6 or so other people get on, and then that lift descends itself. So, exiting the transit hub, you are immediately greeted with sights that differ vastly from the metropolitan bustle of the middle ring. What surrounds you is what looks to be a jungle of tightly compacted structures leering down upon you. Dense metal walls covered in graffiti and grime are on every corner of your vision, and the crowded streets are filled almost entirely with Unix. Making your way through the streets, it's not hard to notice the slightly pointed stares you're receiving. 1216 doesn't speak much, other than occasionally offering directions before leading the party on a particular turn. Leading you through the winding streets, you pass many different blocking structures, some in disrepair and others in half repair. Patches of the station appear to still be being built, as you can see construction crews and lifter mechs working on segments of the ring far away and high above you. A dense smog fills the air, not only making it slightly more difficult to breathe, but filling your nostrils just faintly with a reek of somewhere between sulfur and sewage water. 1216 brings you through the streets and walkways to a front of a high tower with a glass front. The small plaza out front is guarded by a small squadron of these hulking human. I didn't get a picture of them. I'm sorry, I'm the worst. I can fix that though right now because I actually saved one ahead of time. Hang on. You know what? I got this. Okay, I got it. So in front of you are these massive hulking humanoid constructs. They appear to be painted in similar colors as 1216. That sort of yellow and white color scheme. I'll give you guys some examples. I'll just put some up here. I got a token. Here we go. That'll work. Boom. So some of these guys out here, they are large, humanoid in shape, and heavily armored. Let's see. Brandishing heavy rifles or large quarterstaffs, they patrol in clip formations. A pair of them stand sentinel in front of a large entrance. Does anybody want to take a quick engineering check?
I do.
Go for it, Pi. What do we got? Uh-oh.
Come on.
Oh, actually, you know what? I totally should this be a good time to mention that we have some chat rerolls. Let's see, where is it? Actually, I think Pi has a, Pi, you have a reroll, I'm pretty sure.
I will take it because that was terrible.
You do. Sorry, Pi, you have a +2 actually, so that's a 12. I have the reroll, sorry.
Oh, there we go. Well, okay, I guess
So that
it's
becomes
better
a
than
12.
nothing.
But that's okay. As you look, because you already managed to identify the previous guard, you'll notice that these are definitely also SecTech. You haven't seen any model like these before, but they're definitely also made by SecTech. As you approach the door, 1216 will scan an identifier to open the front door to allow you past the 2 guards, which will leer silently at you, making no sound. Taken past a few administrative desks to an elevator, which will then whisk them high above the closed streets to the top floor, where a glass half dome makes up the head offices of the lower ring. In contrast to what you've seen in the lower ring so far, this building feels pristine and sterile. 1216 silently escorts you through the halls and past up to a large door. And as before with the apartment buildings, he stands outside the door. Entering, you move into a large administrative office. Large computer screens are present along the walls to either side of you. Robotic attendants busying themselves with consoles and readouts. One of them carries a holopad over to a center desk, which sits just in front of the large glass wall, which opens to the cityscape below you. The man behind the desk is a Yosoki, clearly a bit small for the regal-looking chair he swivels around in, takes the data pad and offers a brief smile to the information display on it. Then, He lowers the data pad to his desk and gestures with a whirring cybernetic hand to a set of chairs that have clearly been brought into the room recently. Let me go ahead and get a nice picture of our next person up. For those who aren't aware of what Yusaki are, for those who don't play Starfinder, they are mouse people. So yeah, this sort of figure is sitting in this chair in front of you. He whirs a mechanical hand and says, I do love it when my help is prompt. Glad to make your acquaintance, agents. I am Tax Jeppis, Prefect of the Lower Rings here on Forward Hope. Please take a seat.
11.
Hi there.
And remark, next time you hire some help, can you move us a bit closer?
Well, you see, I simply felt it would be inappropriate to have you staying down here in the lower rings. I figured if I could spring for the best, I would. Next time I'll see if I can't put my next group of adventurers up in the upper rings, huh?
Do they have more food there?
From what I understand, the finest cuisines in all the galaxy. No.
Work for them again.
Let's not get too caught up in the hustle and bustle, and instead let's focus on business. As you can see, I handle all construction, security, information gathering, diplomatic matters, personal movements, and other various odds and ends here in the lower ring. If it has to get done, it basically goes through me. Included in that are sort of several construction tasks which are required for us to, for lack of a better term, finish the ring. You see, Forward
Chaos
Hope
roll
was going through a
incoming.
massive war. I'm sorry, one more time?
Chaos roll incoming.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
FoXXii.
Oh no!
I apologize to interrupt. There has been
Oh no! Another one!
technically another one. Do you want to
Stop
roll?
it!
Do you want to
Or
roll
don't!
another
I love you guys.
Do.
All right, here comes another one. So I will cut that rant off for a brief bit, and then I'll do that right quick. Here comes a D20 Cole.
All right.
That's a 2 this time.
A 2. Let's see. Oh boy. All right. Let me DM FoXXii again. This is another one that will, I think, work out fairly well, but will show up at a certain time. So
That's
here you
that's
go.
what happened for the last one.
And I will go back into the abyss after sending that to FoXXii.
Yeah, we're gonna. I might need to make a new token. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna hop right on back in. So again, you once for some reason feel the winds of the universe shift, but maybe this time in the opposite direction. I don't know. Anyway, so Tax continues his rant and says, as you can see, I handle several things, including construction. Forward Hope was never fully finished, as you may or may not know. So I handle several construction crews, some I hire personally, others independent that I contract out, to deal with several small tasks all across the ring, patching up holes or fixing bastions, redoing buildings, all kinds of things like that. Recently, at a small intersection, I had a site with a lifter mech and a couple of teams working, and there was an incident. I don't have all the hard details, but I know there was possibly some loss of life, and there seems to be some stir amongst the populace. Not to say too much about the people I am called to serve, but the people of the lower ring can cause a stir, for lack of a better word, sometimes. So I'd like it if a group of adventurers such as yourself could, as discreetly as possible, head to the construction scene, determine any investigation you might need to do. If you feel you're necessary to explore the rest of the lower ring on your own, to take care of any personal business or to get more leads, feel free to do so. The only end goal I would wish is that you could properly absolve my organization of any guilt and allow us to move forward to produce a statement which would assuage the populace, so to speak.
Got it.
That's about the only spiel I have for you, cool cats. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
Why don't I get security reviews?
Well, that is a bit of a history lesson, but I'll try to keep it brief for my friends here. Forward Hope manages to maintain, so each ring effectively functions as its own separate city-state. The prefecture has full jurisdiction to handle things however they want. The upper and middle rings are our metropolitan hubs. They are incredibly productive and thus manage to bring in enough capital to maintain a full and active humanoid police force. The lower ring does not have such luxuries. as it were. So, leveraging my own innate genius and maybe some corporate channels, you know how business works, I managed to get SecTech, a company that I am on the board of, station a full unit of our latest and greatest Praetor Guard to maintain order in this part of the ring. And might I say, their track record is impeccable.
Define impeccable.
I'm so glad you asked. You see, unlike humanoids, which can be messy and make mistakes and deal with emotions, the Praetor Guard are fully synthezoid. No AI, no intelligence, no emotion. Just cold logic. I use them to maintain everything from street patrols to crime ring busting to drug smuggling ring destroying and anything else in between.
Like you're gonna replace us real fast.
One more time? Sorry.
Sorry, androids had a history of being enslaved before they got their freedom, so it's just he's not a big fan of your non-sentient servants.
Oh, not to worry. They aren't intelligent. They can't even feel the need to be oppressed.
All right then. Well, I can't say everybody.
Well, if there's nothing else, and I've assuaged all your social issues.
Mm-hmm. What's our pay?
I will allow you to go on your way. Please, he will sort of swipe the small phone in his hand, almost like in your direction, and you'll notice your communicators will spark for a bit. Please take both my contacts and 1216s. If you have any need of anything, feel free to contact either one of us, and I will send you off on your way. You can either head straight to the construction zone, which I will hand you the coordinates for, or walk around the lower ring for a bit. Do be careful, though.
A quick question. Is there anything, will we need any special sort of designation with your big bots or anything to make sure that they don't hinder our investigation?
Ah, ma'am, you are a genius. He will sort of whistle over at one of the custodians, robots over to the side, who will press a few buttons on the screen and say, "You are now designated non-hostile by the Praetorians. They will not attack you unless you breach your protocol."
Understood. Thank you.
You be careful out there. And you will be sent on your way. And this is the point where I would like to open it up to my lovely adventurers, because I've done so much talking. Would you guys like to head straight to the crime scene and see what's going on there, or walk around the lower ring for a bit, or maybe see what's going on in the local scene? What's open? I'm opening up to you guys. What's the game plan here?
I would vote walk around the lower ring for a bit.
11 doesn't mind. I'll follow you. We probably need to learn a little bit about each other before we go head off into something dangerous anyway.
Fantastic.
Lex?
We can walk for a bit.
Lex is like, I'm not in the fucking mood right now, all right? not here for this right now, all right?
It's all right. Let's see what kind of people we're dealing with.
All right, as you make your way back out into the hustle and bustle of the lower ring, this is the time for another super fun view table. Anyone who wants to can feel free to take a roll on this. I'll put another D8, and I will tell you what you see. Anything you might run into. Ooh. Ooh. And we got an 8, a 3, and a 3. Robotic, you can feel free to reroll. 4. All right, so let's go in order of necessity. So the first thing you'll notice, 11, as you're kind of wandering, maybe sort of take a look, see what's going on. Maybe just keeping an eye on Pi and Sorgo to see if anything happens. You will notice, as you sort of look off to the high wall of the ring, you'll notice that unlike the middle ring, which sort of felt like a sprawling countryside, even though it was a clear ring, you could see the horizon on either side. The lower ring feels so compact. It feels like if you look too far to your right, you can just see the massive station wall almost. This wall of high black carbon. And upon that, as you look up, you'll hear this sound. And as you look, you'll see a massive 8-legged mechanical robot hauling a massive crate of construction material, moving along the scaffolding of this ring as it slowly moves its way to one zone or another, likely doing some building of some variety or something like that. In fact, if you look around, now if you notice that one, you'll see there are actually probably quite a few of them all around the ring, doing small things here or there, maybe brushing a person aside as they need to, things like that. as you continue to walk around, Lex, with scowl on your face and just trying to get your way through it. You're looking around, and as you are peering around, you'll begin to hear music. And as you look to the side, there appears to be some kind of parade or street performance of some variety. A group of dancers whipping themselves about in pairs, making dramatic leaps and crazy spins happen as a crowd of cheers along with them, the drums thundering drums and a whistle and to the hum of whistles and flutes. Anyone who wants to can give me a culture check. 11. Though you have never seen a Unix necessarily in your travels, they tend to only really be around here on Forward Hope, you have absolutely seen plenty of traditional, dances and ceremonies in your travels, and you can almost intuitively assume this is probably some kind of, in fact, going through like your data banks, your memory banks, you can almost trace certain cultural notes that pretty much denote it's probably some kind of cultural celebration, some sort of holiday of some variety, some sort of small ceremony where people are just taking to the streets and celebrating and engaging in small cultural dances and, just celebrating whether it's something between freedom or liberation in some variety. Oh, got you. Chat says music down a little bit. Having a bit too much fun. I'm sorry. Don't blame me. It's a dancer. Tell them to turn the drums down. So yeah, as you're moving, you'll notice that, and you can feel free to keep moving. There's Pi, you'll even hear sort of there's a waft as there's some carts nearby. There's some kind of grilled meat substance.
He's there. Mission is completely forgotten.
Pi just sprints on over to go grab some meat. Fair enough.
Pi is taking on the most important part of the mission.
Thankfully, the crowd isn't too thick, so I'm not going to make you guys roll to see if you can keep track of her or anything. You'll see her dip off to a quick cart, and strangely enough, there's no sort of payment involved. As you come over, you'll see behind the stand is an older-looking woman with a skin of a light green with sort of a deep dark brown inset. She has 4 arms with 3 fingers on each, 2 wide yellow eyes, and sort of pincers at her mouth, and has a sort of a stinger behind her, a large sort of tail with a stinger behind her. She makes a sound at you like a clattering, and you'll feel maybe a sort of a sensation as she says, "Greetings, young one. I assume you're here for the festival."
Oh yeah, I'm real interested. How much?
My darling, we charge nothing during Yanashi. This is a celebration of freedom and hope for all. Every person here is happy, every person here is free, and every person here contributes to everyone else. Please, take as many as you would like.
Oh, thank you so much. And Pi basically...
Don't.
Takes 2 good handfuls. I was straight. She was going to take an armful. 2 good handfuls. Bows her head.
And she just takes off back to complete the mission. Newly acquired snacks in hand. Sorgo, you notice that the smell is attractive, even if you're not maybe in the mood for a snack. It smells like fresh meat. Maybe you don't know what it's made of or anything, but it smells like fresh enough, grilled meat. And honestly, if it smells like meat, it tastes like meat, and it looks like meat, you mean?
Sorgo lets them take a couple steps ahead and just looks very carefully, and then he will just kind of step over and
just kind of swipe one real quick.
Take one and just give her a nod and.
Word, solid respect. Trying new foods, we love it. You continue to move through the streets, and as you are snacking on your newfound meat snacks, Sorgo, you will turn and you will see what looks to be a particularly interesting sight. A large building, seemingly built directly into the outer wall of the station, bulky and protruding in its presentation. The inside thumps with a resounding bass you can practically hear through the floor. Through the windows, you can see multicolored lighting. And as you slowly begin to approach the outside of the building, you'll notice there are people heading in and out. Some of the ones that are heading out seem to sway a bit in their stride. And anytime the door is open for even a moment, you can definitely hear a raucous uproar. In fact, as you approach, you can look at the sign. It's a holographic sign, which when out of your periphery, it looks like a sort of strange mirage of glyphs you've never seen or read before. But the moment you give it eye contact, the glyphs shift into a language you guys can read, and it says Bastion 22A out front.
Do I know what that means?
Would you like to give me? You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. You could definitely tell from your time, maybe traveling a few stations here or there. Stations tend to denote substations, subsectors, and things like that. What this likely means is that when this session was being planned, you are in what would be known as Subsector 22. This is probably a place to store munitions or weapons for one of the station's many massive defensive platforms. Doesn't appear to be being used for that purpose at the moment, though. So you notice this. One more time?
Oh, I was gonna suggest to my friends, you want to see why they turn munitions club into, munitions depot into a club?
So the question was, do you want to see? Do you people want to see why they turned the munitions bar munitions section into a club?
Or do you want to
solid question. Yeah.
There are a lot of people in there.
Yeah, might be a good way to get a good vibe on the people. Figure out what's causing the ruckus for SecTech.
All right. With decisions made, you'll move your way up to the door. There is a larger-looking Unix outside who does sort of stop you with his lower right hand for a moment. Just kind of looks at you for a second. It's not like he's like trying to pat you down or anything. He just kind of stares at you for a moment, as if sizing you up. Maybe even parsing your thoughts. And then he'll just kind of, after a moment, just say, let his hand down and move to the side and allow you all inside Bastion 22A. Let me go ahead and move y'all over on the map again. Oh, I can do the smart thing where I can copy over the versions of you guys that I have from the apartment. It's the right size already. I'm a genius.
Ding.
I'm a genius. There you go. And then we'll put you guys down right there. And here you go. So, as you enter into Bastion 22A, you can see that, again, as you mentioned, the massive sort of Bastion-like structure has mostly been hollowed out. There seems to be no sign of munitions or weapons of any variety. Instead, there seems to be a two-floor structure. The lower floor is a massive open dance floor style structure with a couple of glass tables off on any side. Some individuals seem to be having some drinks or some refreshments of different varieties and chatting absolutely absent-mindedly. Some of them seem to be watching some kind of sports game up on some TV screens. Back here on this back wall here, you'll actually notice is completely open to the void of space. It's like there's like a carbon glass kind of very, very thick, you'd imagine, panel. But if you look behind the bartender here, you can just see a carpet of stars and maybe even a slight drifting nebula behind you. There are people all around you. Off in the corner here is a particularly interesting looking individual covered in blue and yellow robes, surrounded by some other interesting looking characters. There are some other people hanging around the bar, minding their business, and there's also a bartender handling a few levers of beverages behind the bar.
All right. 11's gonna walk up on the barkeep, see if he can get any information considering why our current job, or just the public perception of what happened.
Alrighty. Here, I'll even make them bigger so you guys see a little bit more of soaking. So as you walk up to, you approach the barkeep. Yeah, he just grew 5 million times in size. That's what he just did. No, you walk up to approach the barkeep. You see, again, like any other he's a Unix, this one's sort of a darker brown in color with some lighter brown insets. He has in two of his hands, on both left hands, he has beverages, bottles. In both right hands, he has cups or sort of things. And strangely enough, as you approach, he pours beverages. He pours 2 cups, places them down in front of and at 2 seats. He then gets another cup, pours a third one, and places it down before you 3 even sit. Come on, take a load off.
Hi there, I'm Pi. What's your name?
They call me Jesse.
Jesse. Nice to meet you, Jesse.
I got 3 rounds of Cabanera hot. Take them quick. They don't stay hot for that long, and they're only good when they're hot.
It's good.
So you take them down, and you notice that the drink kind of falls down your orifices with a strange sort of tingle that's not a burning, but maybe like a soft. Unlike that crappy gen stuff you had back in the apartment, this stuff actually gives you a nice, good, solid feeling, nice, good tingle in the stomach. 11, in fact, you're not even 100% sure how, but despite you not being a biological being, you're feeling like a little bit of face. Like your face is feeling a little tingly, a little bit of hot to the face, you know, just a little bit. So as you take this back, Jesse kind of just like, he slams the bar and goes, yeah, how was that, huh?
Oh, that was spicy. I like it. Sure.
One more?
More? Sure.
Aha! He'll just kind of start pouring up, looking at you too expectantly. He begins to pour 3 more cups.
Downs it immediately.
There you go. Do you mind giving me I totally know what stats.
11's no sleight of hand. He is over to Alicia.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I thought I took mine already.
Eyes going hard. So as you fair enough. As you handle your beverages, you'll notice the man will say, I can't say I've seen any of you guys at any point. You
we're new.
Just got out the dropship this morning.
And what brings you to Forward Hope? More specifically, this look down in this dump.
11's gonna basically describe the situation that we heard over at the construction site and wanted to know if you knew anything about it from the locals' perspective.
As you begin to describe your current predicaments, Jesse will kind of slowly pull up on the bar. You'll even notice that as one person kind of like comes up to order a drink, kind of like shoos them off. I'm just like, this is important, I'm busy. He then just says, you're working with the prefecture? I wouldn't say that out loud.
And why is that?
Let's just say his approval rating ain't too high among the general populace.
That explains why you had to get outside help.
Now, I know that incident you're talking about. The incident, the accident that happened down over in section 27. Yeah, everybody's heard about it by this point, especially anybody around here. There's some whispers.
Was it an accident?
Well, that's what everybody's calling it. They say a boss came down on some poor sock's head, crushed him immediately. People started fleeing. There was some screaming, and that's all we really know. But there's been some whispers that there's some, I don't know, trickery afoot. If you're asking around about it, I'd advise just being a little careful. Again, people don't necessarily like people who work around with the prefecture. As you are having this chat with him, you'll notice that an individual from over here will flag a hand, and someone will from over here will, like this guy will literally just like walk over to the bar. The bartender will hand him 2 big bottles of a drink, and he will just huck them back over to this here. He'll stop at this table, put them here on this table here, and go right back to a spot here. And Jesse comes back to you. Sorry about that. Business and such.
So you're saying basically everybody around here hates our current boss.
Well, hates might be a bit of a strong word, politics and whatnot, but yeah, he's not necessarily the most liked around here. What, with the Praetor Guard walking around cracking skulls every 3 fucking days or so?
I figured.
Yeah, you seen the damn bastards? Big as a fucking tank. And those staffs? They hit you, they shock you, they say you go unconscious. Some people don't get up.
Alright, so anybody can be a suspect. Is there any, I'm guessing every active around, is there any groups especially known for fighting back?
As you say this, Jesse will kind of just like start looking around very, very hesitantly and just say, I can't do any talking about that. Listen, if you want any information or anything important in this city, you go to somebody who knows some stuff. Like Jinto over there. Sorry, don't talk to Jinto. That's a bad idea.
Why?
He's less friendly than I am.
Oh, question. Like most of the drinks and food are free because of the festival, right?
Absolutely, ma'am. On the house.
So what was with the... and she'll make the vague motion of like motioning from that table to that table.
Ah, that Jinto has a certain drink he prefers. It's a special reserve that I only bring in stock for him.
Oh, okay. I understand. What's it? What it? Is it like a home brew?
Well, we bring it in from these ice crystals we find, from these ice caverns we find down on a planet out in the outer rim. They say that getting it takes about a month and a half travel, takes about 2 years to distill, and then another 4 years to make it properly ferment.
How much do you usually charge for that then, considering the wait time?
I can't sell it.
Oh?
Yeah, not only does it not have a market price, Jinto would have my goddamn head if I did. Listen, you guys are new around here, so I'll offer you a little bit of advice. Whatever you're looking for, find it quick and get going. And most importantly, don't piss off Jinto.
So, I wanted to treat Jinto to something, but he doesn't sell. I don't know what to do to make an intro.
Newbies. He'll go under, pick up another glass, and like pour a drink, and just says, "Walk this over to him. Tell him it's from me. From there, you're on your own."
Okay, thank you so much. You're very kind.
Just don't get killed to start a firefight in here.
I was picked it up and walked away before she heard that part.
Oh no! Oh no! All right, Pi will make her way over. Sorgo and 11, what are you guys doing?
Sorgo is no more than 5 feet behind her.
Got it.
And he tries to kind of relax a little bit.
Fair
Attempts to look a little bit less intimidating, less menacing.
Oh yeah, of course, the giant fucking
Slightly.
lizard with a gun. Yeah, look less intimidating. I'm sure that's possible. 100%, no question.
He makes a point when he gets close enough, when he thinks that they're close enough to see, to put the snap on the holster of his pistol to show that he doesn't feel like he needs it,
Good.
and just crosses his arms over his chest again.
All right, and 11, what are you up to right now?
Debating
Pretending
whether
we don't exist.
Two people he just met don't get shot. He'll walk over because, yeah.
All right, 11 will pace himself on
He just
over
worried
with the rest.
early.
As Pi approaches with the beverage in hand, Jinto, you'll see the figure over here. Oh, I actually have a nice little NPC thing for him. Go ahead and place that. Hiya! There you go.
Ooh,
In front of you, an older and wizened Unix who is adorned in these blue and yellow robes. The little bits of his carapace you can see appear to be a very deep burnt red with sort of light brown insets. You can see plenty of signs of what I can only describe as wear and tear. Small bits of carapace missing, some scars here and there. This person has definitely seen some things, or at least what you can tell behind the robes. He sits there solemnly and notices Pi approaching with the drink, and will kind of perk an eyebrow at you.
Oh, hi. Well, this is from the bar. Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Pi.
Jinto looks at your hand, but doesn't offer one of his own, and just says, "You coming over here means you want something from me. You know who I am?
Your name's Jinto.
The Jinto.
The
Those two your
Jinto.
friends?
Yes.
They're too far away. It's skeeving me out. Tell them to come closer."
Waves them closer.
Oh,
Come on, Sorgo.
This is called business or pleasure?
Pleasure. I
All
honestly
right,
wanted
let's
to
do introductions
introduce myself.
formally. Name's Jinto. Anything goes through the section, I know about it, and I approve it. And the rest of you?
I'm actually here about the internet construction site the other day.
What are you, fed?
No, even worse, some murder. I've been
What do you-
hired by the
So go ahead.
I've been hired by the local law. I want to find out what happened down there. Get in, get out.
Prefect to paying cops these days? Or are you from the middle ring?
I'm from down here. Just fresh
Nice.
off the boat.
So you're working with law enforcement. I ain't never seen you before, but apparently you're from down here. Gotta say, that's at least 3 strikes already. He'll snap a finger, and you'll notice all of a sudden the 3 or 4 men behind you will all train assault rifles on you. And suddenly this conversation's over. The fuck out of my face.
I wasn't gonna ask about that. I legitimately had questions.
You should have kept your friend quiet. Move.
Okay. I hope you have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
As you slowly creep away, you will see those assault rifles trained on you for maybe a few seconds too long. But as you eventually make some distance, Jinto will offer maybe a slight wave of his hand again, and they will lower them. But as you turn to maybe make another scene, take another look around you, you look over to Jazzy, the bartender, who is now looking at you with very wide eyes and rapidly cutting his head towards the door.
Yeah, nope. I go towards the door. No problem.
Sorgo will move very slowly, and he'll keep an eye on Jinto.
Do you mind giving me a quick perception check for me, Sorgo?
Absolutely. That will be hopefully something that I can succeed at. That's a 9.
You will notice Jinto pull up a small orange device in his hand and tap some things into it. Maybe you can see like his jaws click and clatter a little bit, and then he will sort of lower it again as you leave out. And you are now back on the streets of the lower ring. You travel for a bit longer, maybe feeling a bit more, stares on you as you travel.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, as you're moving, making your way, you will.
As we're walking, Pi is gonna like turn to it was 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
11, dear. If somebody tells you not to bring up a certain topic with the local bigwig, maybe don't start there.
Sorry. New to this.
Are you true to this? That's the important question, I would say.
We gotta get the job done, but the direct approach is not always the best one.
It's fine.
You make your way, continuing to move about the streets for a bit until finally the sort of narrow streets begin to open up into wide, large turns that you enter into the parts of the city that seem a bit more unbuilt / half repaired. You move through for a while through long lines of machinery and assembly districts and things like that to eventually come across Subsection 27. You notice around you there appears to be a large street corner, which likely directs any kind of ground or small, low-flying hover traffic in the area. There are a few buildings which stand imposing high above you. Additionally, in front of you, there appears to be a cordoned-off construction zone. Massive crates of material you can't maybe make out are piled up high in 3s or 4s all around you in different stacks. Safety cones denote areas where civilians are not to cross. In fact, you'll notice that there doesn't really seem to be too many people around this area. It seems to be a bit more abandoned. In front of you, you will see a massive construction mech similar to the 111 saw walking earlier. This one, however, is depowered. It has its claws out in front of it as if it was recently holding something, or perhaps maybe was going to grab something before it was shut down or something like that. And just in front of it, you can see a crate on the ground with fluid around the bottom of it. And I am going to, once again, oh, did I move it all over yet? I did, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up to y'all for a bit of whatever you want to do.
Right. First things first. Let's detect if there's any immediate magic in the area.
Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna do the thing from the sheet.
Yeah, go ahead and do the thing on the sheet, and then why don't you go ahead and tell me how Pi does it? Walk us through, put us in the scene, you know?
Sure thing. Well, considering the most recent thing she ate was meat, there's that whatever that smell is starts to kind of gently waft from her hands, and there it's sort of like it's like this weird, like if you were looking from the side, it'd be like there's a dotted line coming out. But if you look closer, it looks like skewers as she's detecting magic, kind of like, so it's like these skewers that smell like meat as they're shooting out of her hands. They're not physical. It's all like a visual thing.
I love it.
As she's scanning the area with her hands.
All right, go for it. As Pi does her meat scanning, her magic meat scanning, you will pick up that you'll feel high above you. Well, above you is a relative term because it's hard to tell given the whole ring setup. But definitely you can feel some magical presence maybe coming from the middle and lower rings, given that they aren't too far. But down here in the lower rings, most of it is scant. As you sort of pick up ambient wafts of magic in the air, there's bits of it, small background radiation perhaps, but in this immediate area, nothing.
Not a thing. Oh, not much here. In terms of magic, that's interesting. You'd think, especially with this being a specter site, there'd be something.
I got -2. You guys suck. Sorry, go ahead, guys.
No, 11's going to check the robot. He wants to see if he can check the lock to see if it's been tampered with in any way.
All right, feel free to go on up to there and roll me it could be engineering, could be computer use. You can go ahead and decide that for yourself. Another one? No, not another one. No,
FoXXii.
no.
Oh wow, look at that.
I don't even have cola
I'll
around
take
to do
that,
the
though.
thing.
Computers?
I am right here.
I lied, he's here. Okay, so let's do 11's computer check first, and then we'll go ahead and handle that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna roll it first. Cole, I'll roll D20. It's a 5. Cole, while you figure out what that is and DM me, I will handle robotics computer check.
Sounds good.
So 11, if you want to RP real quick, like how you do the computer check, how do you want to like handle going about this? If you RP it.
All right. So 11's gonna approach, I guess, whatever service console is on it. He's going to pull a cable through his wrist, jack on in, and run a diagnostic on the computer, and check the files. Oh, you're happy. I just died.
So sorry. No, keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. No, please keep going. You're fine. Don't mind me at all. I'm not here. I'm not real.
A magnanimous dispensation.
I don't know. I get nervous when a DM smiles.
Nah,
so.
it's fine. I'm just happy.
You're good. It's fine.
Having a great time. That's all. That's all it is.
Everything's fine.
Yep. All right. Yep. So
All right.
11 just gonna scan. He's gonna check if there's anything, if anybody's checked it recently before the incident.
As 11 goes to
anything that he
investigate,
could probably have as a lead.
you find an access panel. You plug into it and access the recent data recordings. You don't see too much, in fact, but you notice for a fact that nothing seems to be too tampered with. You check the security logs, doesn't seem to be too bad. You check the recent operations logs, seems to be fine. Check all of its servos and all of its systems. They seem to be all functional, all green, no problems. Curiously though, its security feed seems to have cut not too long, not too long ago. Like there was a. Seems like there was, if you check the security feed, the log, you'll see like it seems like it's playing out normal. You'll see like through the eyes of the mechanoid that it doing its job, picking up boxes, moving stuff, doing its thing. When it seems to be on a regular day, there's a few different Unix instruction schemes going around. When at some point it just picks up a box and cuts. And while you still get a bit of operation time after that, there's no security log for it.
All right. And there's no trace. I can't find a trace of why it malfunctioned at all.
Oh, how about, yeah. Oh, you look super high. You'll notice that there is zero trace of anything internal going wrong with the mechanoid. There's also no trace of hardware damage. Whatever did this didn't break into it physically, it didn't damage it, and this wasn't some sort of breakdown of its own like hardware or issues.
Well, I'll report these findings to the rest of my team.
Fair enough. Sorgo, what are you up to right now?
Sorgo is currently standing with his rifle in his hand, and he's just looking. He's not happy at all.
Playing it cool.
This
Playing it cool.
No, he's not playing shit cool. He is. He's like,
I don't like it. Something's wrong.
mm-mm.
Sorgo, could you roll a perception check for me real quick, boss?
Absolutely. You know when you're in a new place, but you know what it's like when you walk down that block you're not supposed to walk down?
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah,
you know, I think I should have took that left.
That was.
I don't see a lot of windows on this block. Ain't a lot of witnesses for anything happening. I don't really know.
Did I just see bars on windows?
Right. Is that house boarded up? I don't. Should have hit that left on Broad Street. I don't really know.
That's
Sorgo, you'll look around and notice that again. There's maybe 2 or 3 civilians kind of like maybe casually making their way. One of them might even turn and like look at you for a little bit just to kind of see what you people are doing over there, because no one really goes over there at all. Nothing overtly out of the ordinary that you feel like would give you overt concern, unless you're just a normally paranoid person. But yeah, there's not really too much out of the ordinary, just maybe 2 or 3 people walking about the crime scene. But
if anybody gets too close, if any of those 3 are too close, he will just give them a go.
But as you're looking around, you mean mugging pedestrians and such, as it were, you do take a nice big whiff of that little lizard nose of yours, and you'll notice that liquid over on under that crate definitely smells like blood, and a fair amount of it.
And it's still liquid?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's decently drying, like it's drying, but I mean, it's kind of hard to tell at this point, but it's definitely, it's been some time, but it's not like a stain on the ground, you know?
He will slowly take 2 or 3 steps closer to it just to verify that it is what he thinks it is.
You get about here, and that full-on coppery tang just fills all that nose. It hits you right in the back of the nostril, that full, deep, metallic smell, and you're like, yep. That's organic being's blood. I mean, you smell plenty of different beings' blood in your lifetime, and they all have their own unique twinge to them. And maybe you've never smelled this kind of blood before, but it's definitely blood. No question. And before we go forward to the next thing, I gotta resolve a good table, I guess. All right, so here's how we're gonna do this good table, huh? I'm gonna roll a d6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm gonna pick up some kind of random item of some variety, and we'll go from there. All right. So first things first. Here comes the roll. Okay. So Sorgo, not only do you have a +2 you just got from chat, but before we go to break, I'll let everybody know what they have going on. So I have a lot of stuff. I haven't been able to keep up with it all. But additionally, you will find. You will, so Sorgo, as you're moving forward, you sort of bump a small crate that maybe you couldn't tell if it's already been there long before construction, or if it just got put there randomly, or if someone maybe dropped it off somewhere. Could be somebody's murder weapon. You don't really know, to be perfectly honest with you. But you see a crate, and you open this crate to reveal. Let me just get a nice copy paste. To reveal an old-looking rifle of a white plastic demeanor with a clean sort of tube running through the middle. Maybe feeling a bit inclined to pick it up. You go to grab the gun. Maybe you saw your current rifle. Pick it up.
Yeah.
And the moment you grab it, sort of like there's like a few palm pads on the side of the on the grip. The moment you pick it up, that tube alights with a bright blue energy. You, my friend, are now holding a CSP-9 394 Radiant Girl. It is a cryo rifle, long arm. I put the stats for it in the chat. If you want to, don't worry about it right now. If you want to put it in during breaker at some point, but that's the thing you got.
Okay.
There you go. So there you go. You just kind of ran into this random freezing rifle. Mr. Freeze must have been on holiday and left his gear around. So you just kind of picked it up.
Talk about being cool.
Oh no. Oh, she did the thing.
Hey, we've been going for how long? And I waited that long to do one?
Fair
Y'all
enough.
lucky.
It's, you know, I respect that, honestly. All right, let's take ourselves back in. Is anybody, so now you've all done your preliminary things. What do you guys want to do now? Now that you've checked for magic and seen the log of the robot and smelled blood. What's the next step for you guys? Who wants to do anything else? One at a time. Feel free.
I think I roll a perception to see if there's anything else we can maybe expect.
Go for it.
Expect to find.
Go for it.
I have the worst perception.
There's definitely the smell of a dead body around. That's about all you can get, though.
Was there any identifying thing on the body? Was it just?
Oh no, it's the smell of a dead body.
Oh, okay.
It has the scent.
Was there anything on the body?
Yep. And oh, look, robotic froze for a bit. I hope he didn't lose him. Oh no, he's back. We got him. He's good. Everything's fine. We're good. It's okay. All right.
Thank you for the clip, chat. Amazing.
Wait, did I get clipped?
boy.
Oh no. Oh no, we got clipped.
I did.
Fantastic. All right. Let you guys go ahead and do your other actions, and then we'll head into what's going on. Go ahead. Anything else?
We should figure out what exactly left all of this. And Sorgo will kind of slowly move around that towards that bloodstain. And just kind of slowly circle. And he'll trade the cryo rifle for his standard laser rifle,
Of course.
just because he's more familiar with it.
Makes sense.
And he'll just kind of slowly circle around and get ready to.
Yeah.
He's looking to see if there's anything there, whether it's a body or something hiding.
Well, you look around and you see more blood smear, more blood splatter around. There doesn't seem to be a body.
Hold on a moment.
Go for it.
I think I can help you out a little bit. And Pyle lay her hand on Sorgo's shoulder and cast Keen Senses, so you can have +2 to your perception and something else, and also your low light is doubled and stuff like that. You see better and smell better.
Awesome. And he'll just breathe in a little more deeply.
Similarly, go ahead and give me your perception check. Take your time on that.
Yep. Perception. With that +2.
Yeah, with the +2, that's a
21.
21. Woo,
And
not
actually,
bad
I
at
think
all.
from the chat, total of a 20.
Oh yeah, right. You have a
That's right. Yes.
as well. So yeah, that's you're yes 23 at that. That's okay. So you definitely also distinctly picked up the smell of a body, but with your slightly more honed nose, you can definitely pick up that it's coming from right here, like directly under this crate.
It's underneath.
11. Could you give me a quick is insight a skill in Starfinder? You think I would know this, right?
Apparently, so it's weird because, like, the spell I just did also increases your insight weirdly, but for
I feel
some
like
reason,
insight skill. I'm gonna look at one of y'all sheets real quick. I feel like it's a skill.
I think it's sense motive.
Yeah, that's right. It's rolled in the sense motive. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Give me a real quick sense motive check. We'll go with that. We'll call that insight for this. I also will take computers if you want. I'll take computers or engineering outside of just that. If you want to reroll that, it's fine. Okay, that's actually not bad. 11. You know for a fact that these robots. You look at the tensile in those arms there. You know for a fact that if you got this robot back on, it could probably be great.
Okay. So I guess he'll go back over to the machine, start it back up, and can he control it?
Could you give me an engineering check? And while he's getting that going, does anybody want to do anything else?
No, Pi's just gonna still work on her meat sticks.
All right. Oh, easy peasy, no problem. So you get into it and you realize that the sort of general sort of like framework system used to control these like limited AI mechanoids is incredibly simplistic to overwrite and control. You kind of can like implant sort of like thought engrams that kind of give it general commands like lift this or move this or go here or do this job. And so you kind of tap into it and sort of give it this thought engram of lift that crate, and it springs into motion, maybe steps forward a step or two, and then very, very, with a lumbering huff, just picks that massive crate up and lifts it. And behind you, I didn't get to make a second map because I was lazy, but just imagine that crate is no longer there anymore. Under there, you can see the destroyed body of Unix in what looks to be some kind of crew or construction gear. He is definitely a male by the look of it, from what you can make out. There's not much recognizable as far as facial structure or bone structure goes. The body was kind of flattened a bit by the crate. But, and I would like it if all of you give me a quick perception check. I will also accept life science or...
Okay.
Yeah, either of those is fine.
I will take what? Well, we'll definitely go with life science. Yay! There we go.
I will go with the thing that is
perfect.
not a negative.
So, 11,
I'll
you
roll
come
that.
on over. You and Pi go to take a look at the corpse. You'll notice a couple different things that seem a little out of place. The first is that not too far from the body, in fact, you almost are wondering how you guys didn't notice this beforehand, because it's not under the crate, but off here seems to be some kind of like sign of some variety. It seems to be like a very large piece of steel or metal or plastic with something written on it, some glyphs written on it. It also has a post attached to it, but that post is snapped in half, and both sides, of course, thrown to either side. There also appear to be scorch marks on these crates over here, some sort of small scorched impact marks. And the most interesting thing you will notice as you approach that body, in fact, Pi and 11 will both kneel below the body, sort of getting the both idea of, let's check this corpse out. You both will kneel, and at the same time, you will notice very distinctly a large laser burn in the middle of the throat of this individual, perfectly placed. And as you are doing this, you are turning to see all this, considering what might be going on. Feel free to talk that to yourselves. I'm sorry, I'm not taking it from you guys. Go ahead.
I mean, that was Pi's whole statement on it. Oh my.
What did you find?
Oh well, looks like I don't think that this fella here was I'm not sure the box was the cause of death. Got a nice little hole through the throat via laser.
I don't like it.
Is there any identification or anything I can
That's my second question.
to figure out why that was there?
You pull out a small sort of pad that's meant to be like a sort of like a data pad that like most people keep, like there's neural identification, like their bank account stuff attached to it. Most people on the station have it. It looks to be broken beyond repair, unfortunately, but you can still kind of make out the base programming algorithm 11 when you tap into it. You'll pick up the information. The individual's name is Talapi. He was working at a construction crew along with 7 other individuals in this area. There was also a second team there, about 7 or 8 people as well. The contract seems to be in some disrepair. There seems to be some trouble where they have not been renewed for the job after this incident right here where where Talapi was killed. And as you all take this information in, you will hear a distinct rattle above you. Looking up quickly to the sharp sound of motion, the first thing you'll notice is a quick figure of 4 arms dart past you through the scaffolding, down onto the street level, and bolt away from you. The second thing you'll notice, directly after this happens, is the large, incredibly throaty jet sounds as 2 Praetor Guard descend upon the the construction zone, immediately landing nearby both of you, or nearby the 2 of you. You hear a strange sort of chiming sound, just as they sort of communicate each other back and forth in different sort of chiming sounds. They turn, recognize the individual who is running from you, and sprint after him. And with that, we will go to break.
Dun dun dun.
Hello and welcome back to Toward the Farthest Hope. We just left our adventurers in the middle of investigating a crime scene on the lower ring of Forward Hope Station. They discovered a peculiar discovery that the I guess the victim of the crime they had experienced, the victim of this construction accident, might not have been such an accidental kill on their own, and instead there may have been some foul play afoot. And just as they made this discovery, a certain figure darted off past them into the street and took off running, while two massive Praetor Guard fell down on jetpacks and also sprinted off after the sort of assailant or the person they are now chasing. With that said and done, I would like to ask each of my adventurers, how do you wish to begin this chase scene? What's the sort of, putting you back in the moment, you discover this bullet hole in the body. You see two Praetor Guard come down on their jetpacks, make some chattering sounds. This figure darts out from the shadows, descends the scaffolding with incredible agility, and takes off down the street heading towards more populated areas. And the Praetor Guard almost instinctively see him, sort of maybe identify it as a threat and take off after it.
Sorgo's fighting style, actually, as a soldier, is blitz. So he has the technique rapid response, which gives him boosted initiative and boosted land speed. So he will kind of sling the other rifle on his back, and they're both kind of clattering a little awkwardly, but he'll kind of get down to a sprinter's position and then just take off.
Could you give me a quick athletics check?
Absolutely. I love rolling things I'm trained in.
It's my favorite thing when it's like, can you roll that thing that you're really good at? Yes, of course I can. I will happily do that thing you just said. Whoa, the 26. Yeah.
Hello.
So Sorgo, he slings his second rifle behind his back. He hunches down. There's kind of this weird, almost moment of silence. You can almost even see claws dig into the ground for a brief second before he just bursts of motion, takes off sprinting. Any people in the way of him immediately just dive for cover as this hulking mass of armored lizard just, linebacker runs, with the meanest look on his face, just straight into the middle of their lines. Everyone's just like, okay, I don't know what that is, but it can't be good, so we're moving. And they just dive out of the way. Pi, tell me how you start this chase off.
Pi doesn't have anything fancy like that, so Pi's just going to be beating feet.
Could you give me an athletics check?
Sure thing. Not her best, but she's gonna heckin' try. No.
All right, so feeling that the ability to sprint very fast must be something part of the Vesk genome, Pi will assume a similar stance to Sorgo, assuming that she will experience a similar burst of motion. But she'll stumble a little bit as she heads out of the starting gate. Just kind of makes a bit of a tumble. But she recovers. And not too far behind Sorgo. Makes a dash, and is kind of just maybe trying to keep track of her friend.
There is a reason I wasn't a soldier.
And 11, how do you handle this?
I am also just going to start running after our large friend. I will roll a 19.
Oh, not bad. So yeah, I guess finding a healthy middle ground between burst of extreme motion and complete fumble. 11 just kind of settles into a nice crisp jog, makes tracks. Maybe even as you are running 11, despite taking off afterwards, you notice that you kind of quickly catch up to Pi and begin to move past her just a little bit.
I'll shout to her, just try to keep up and just start dashing after our big friend.
Wait, no. Important question.
Go.
In the fumble, were the snacks dropped?
No, you have your snacks still. Your snacks are safe.
Oh, okay. We're good. Okay.
In fact, as you began to fall, the first thing you did was just make sure the snacks were cool. That was the first thing you did. You immediately went to the
tuck and roll.
Tuck and roll.
We're good.
All right, let me quickly roll for our big robotic friends. All right, so the two Praetor Guard are sort of barreling through. You'll notice that there seems to be some sort of like siren blaring from them as they sort of alert people to just please get the hell out of the way. And they are just kind of charging through. But you will notice, if you're paying attention, that anyone that seems to be a bit too in the way for the Praetor Guard just gets knocked aside. There's not much much concern given to the citizenry here. Like there, you see a woman who's walking with maybe a basket full of fruit, and a praetor guard just like smashes her aside, and fruit goes flying everywhere, and she hits a wall and falls over. Another man is walking with like some stuff, and he gets knocked out of the way as the praetor guard continues to just sprint after him. But you notice that one of them seems to be getting a little bit closer to our friend, and as you look closer, you can make out that the man you are chasing after is definitely a Unix. It's hard to tell age with such an insectoid frame, but given the relative the lack of bulk and seeming sort of svelte composure, you imagine this person's probably a little bit younger than you've seen. Certainly seems shorter than, say Jinto or one of the other people you've seen around. He seems to just keep sprinting and sprinting. In fact, you'll notice that as he sprints and sees the one praetor guard approach, he turns and has a small laser pistol in his hand. He appears about to fire at them. Sorgo, as you are the farthest up, I will let you decide what you want to do next.
Can he see this pistol being pulled?
Yes.
He'll cup his hands as he's running and yell, "Don't shoot, just run!" And he'll keep running after him.
Could you give me some kind of social check? I don't care if it's persuasion or intimidation or wherever else you feel might be appropriate.
It's definitely intimidation.
Go for it. Intimidate it.
12.
Let me roll a whiz save. Lucky you, huh? So as Sorgo cups his hands and yells out with his booming lizard voice, "Don't shoot, just run!" You'll notice that maybe even despite possibly not even hearing you or even caring what was said, just hearing this booming voice, this figure sort of shakily just turns and just keeps running. And then sort of the pistol is still in their hand, but they're no longer aiming backward. They're just running now. They will run, and there's a cart that sort of begins to make its way into the street, a fruit cart of some variety. You'll see him leap over the cart, knocking a fruit or two aside, and stumble a bit with the recovery, but kind of take it in stride and roll and continue to move. But you'll notice that seemingly there appears to be a bit of a, maybe not so much of a lax in his step, but maybe just a bit of a slow up as he does notice the large lizard barreling behind him and seems to slow up just a little. And in fact, just barely at the edge of your vision, you can just hear, "And who the hell are you?" And we'll go over to 11 next, as you are also pretty close.
All right. 11 is just going to keep running, trying to keep up. Let's see. Sweet. 18.
All right. 11, as you are dashing along, you actually notice as you're dashing, you see that same cart that's in the middle of the road. The person's now trying to recover it and kind of swerve it around to get out of the street. You just take a nice clean pirouetted leap and just go right over that cart perfectly. Don't even hit anything. Your feet go clear over it. In fact, the bottom of your feet, as you're kind of flipping, go like right above the person who holds the cart's head, just like the garments ruffled a little bit.
Can I do a slight change?
Of course.
I actually want to jump off that guy's head and then cast flight on myself.
Do it.
So I can just kind of keep above the crowd. Long as I don't land anything.
All right, yeah. So 11, you go ahead and jump, and perhaps a little bit rudely, Mario hop off this innocent person's head, and then activate some flight subsystem or gravitic booster or rocket pack, however you want to describe it. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's just going to activate his innate magic, and just start looking like he just shot off, because now his movement is at 60 per round.
Wow, not bad at all. All right, so you're now up above the crowd. Pi, as you look up, you'll see 11 kind of hop and begin floating in the air and making his way kind of slowly. Actually, and you rolled. What was your roll again for the athletics, boss?
18.
18.
All right, so you notice you're 11. You're now kind of like just behind Sorgo. Like your feet are at about level with his shoulder. You're like right behind him, just in there. Pi, what are you up to this time?
Which one hurt the fruit?
The one on the left.
One on the left?
Uh-huh.
Amplify glitch time.
Oh, Lord.
You don't mess with the food.
Oh, Lord. Go ahead.
I can get another contract.
Go ahead and do it. Oh, Lord.
So, I gotta double check to see if there's like a roll list.
Do your thing. Let me know what the call is.
Actually, let me see. Can I just click it and it show up?
Should, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You can create sudden distraction with technological devices. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Do your thing.
Yeah. So essentially, I basically want to mess with the thing's functions. Essentially, like mess it up and everything. I don't know if there's. I'm trying to see if there's like a computers check there. That's what I have to do.
Mhm.
Okay. So we will roll a computers check.
Wow, that's the crit. That's the crit. We have our first crit. It's crit. We crit
Do
it.
not mess with food.
Okay, don't mess with food. Apparently.
How
Holy
dare
hell.
you?
So yeah, Pi, you wave a hand, and the scent of meat wafts through the air, and you'll notice that the Praetor guard on the left, as it's making its move, it just kind of seems like stutter step almost, like it wants to move its right foot, but it doesn't. It just kind of like hovers on the step for a bit, and then stumbles and falls over. It'll fall back 2, dropping it back to -1.
That's because it got off on the wrong foot with me.
Oh my, she did it. And now that Praetor guard will try to make its move. So you'll see that after recovering from the fall, Pi, you sprint on past this here Praetor guard. You keep on moving. You're not too far behind Sorgo and 11 now. The person is still decently up ahead of you though. The other Praetor guard's kind of like just ahead of the 3 of you, and so it's the 3 of you, then the Praetor guard, then the person you're looking for. Everyone's just moving, doing their things. The other one gets up as it recovers from its glitches and begins to take off again, running. It actually stows it's like the staff it's holding and draws a yellow and white painted rifle. And as it sort of begins to move, there's sort of again that cart you all sort of passed. You notice that where 11 took to the air and your friend hopped over it, this Praetor guard just bashes through it, just literally takes the thing in half with like a shoulder charge and just keeps moving through it. The woman on next to it kind of seems a little upset about that, obviously. The other one, the one closer up, keeps moving, and it begins to kind of like, you hear some pistons kind of begin to shift, and then maybe its leg servos, and it starts to pick up speed. You can see the arms kind of huffing a bit more now. It's kind of really, really starting to close in on the individual that is chasing. Said individual will kind of recognizing that maybe it's a choice between running into this giant lizard or this giant scary robot, and it knows for a fact that at least one of them probably going to kill him, will turn and aim its pistol again, and this time, not heeding that warning, it will absolutely fire. You will hear, as you are running, just a burst of blaster fire as it turns and fires at the Praetor guard, and the blasts sort of plinker off of the sides of the armor. One blast does take a nice div into the shoulder armor of it, but doesn't seem to impede the motion of it at all. The guard does fall back just a tiny bit, but doesn't seem to stop running at all. This individual keeps sprinting. And Sorgo will bring it back to you, our track star lizard.
Idiot. And he runs faster and faster at this point.
Give me athletics.
You had one job. Just don't.
Another crit. Back-to-back crits. Okay, we take it. We take those.
Vesk represent.
So yeah, Sorgo, you run up to, so you're running and you manage to, because of the it's stumbling a bit from the shot, you manage to pass the Praetor guard. You kind of shove it aside a little bit and keep moving. You are running, sprinting, and you are effectively closing on this guy. You turn to see him, like you can basically, effectively you can kind of look into the eyes, your cold Vesk reptilian eyes meeting the sort of like pale blue glass of this person. You see he seems to be a Unix of light brown tone. He wears sort of like a light mechanics sort of jack with like holsters. He has 2 laser pistols, one in his hand, in his lower right hand, and one hooked at his hip. And at his back, you can see he has a large sort of jagged sword of some variety. And he is just continuing to sprint, ignoring anything behind you. He turns, sees you again. He thinks about raising the pistol, but about halfway through the motion kind of like decides against it and cuts a sharp left. Could you give me a quick check of some variety? It doesn't really matter what. Have fun.
Athletics, acrobatics.
Athletics works for me.
Athletics, okay.
Fair enough. Yeah. So as he's gonna try to take this turn, like he kind of like sharp turns as hard as he can, like trying to like take a cop almost. But he stumbles a bit as he goes to make the turn, and you're able to just get a nice firm grip on his arm and seize him before the either of the Praetor guard gets too close.
Is there a place that he sees where we can like duck in with this guy?
Perception, real quick. Actually,
sure.
all of you can give me perception real quick as you're all arriving on the scene.
Perception is not great.
Pi, as you come across the scene and see you, Pi, you're sprinting. You're a little bit behind the friends, but you come across the scene and you notice one that Sorgo has your mystery man and has their arm. Two, that the Praetor Guard are definitely still moving and definitely still have those large rifles drawn. And three, there appears to be a door to like a sort of like back alley side, like almost kind of like the side door you see to like into the like the kitchen of a restaurant, something like that. A small side door off into a building to your right there.
Telepathic message to Sorgo and 11, kind of like describing where to go through.
All
That'd
right.
be her action.
Sorgo will just yank the guy, the Unix, and say, "Come on, this way."
How far are the guys away from the is there a way I can kind of like, I'll jump in with them, but then I want to hop back out the other direction after I cast a spell, Disguise Self.
I'll go for it.
Basically, I want to look as close to the guy that we were chasing as possible and run in the opposite direction.
Go for it.
All right. So that's just a spell, standard action.
Cool. So you cast your disguise self. Go ahead and feel free to so yeah, you manage to make a pretty close facsimile of the person you're looking for. It's like you notice that like while his coveralls are like maybe red and green, yours are like red and a little bit like off yellow. So there's a slight difference, but nothing that anybody like not keenly looking for it would notice. You have all the same gear. He kind of looks at you and like twitches an eyebrow a bit. Well, they don't have eyebrows, but if there were an eyebrow there, he would twitch it. Just kind of a little bit curious the fact that there's now a second him standing there. But as you sort of take off back running out of the door, he'll kind of understand that you're going to form a distraction of some variety.
Here we go. This guy stuff. Yep. If they want to make a check, it's a +10 to the saving throw to recognize it. So
the Praetor Guard will actually, I roll my own dice over here. The Praetor Guard will make an attempt to see if they recognize you. So as you kind of sprint back out the door, they turn the corner that you were there, and they both see and notice you sprinting. Okay, we're gonna have to run with that then. So they'll kind of stop as they sort of like they'll notice like the sort of faint facsimile of you running back into the crowd, like maybe like see like the back half of you, but either there wasn't enough for a confirmation of a target lock, or they just felt that maybe there was some other order given to them. But either way, as they turn that corner, they kind of just stop, freeze back into that clip martial pose, turn, and begin strutting away as if off on some other patrol mission, like nothing ever happened.
All right then. Well, when I see them not chasing me, I'll just drop the spell.
All right. Meanwhile, do you want to head back inside, or do you want to wait outside for a bit? 11, did you want to wait outside? You're still outside?
No, I'm sorry. I'll head back towards.
Okay, just making sure. Here you go. Okay, so as you head back towards the building, you're all hiding in. You seem to be in some sort of abandoned small factory for maybe sort of small consumer electronic products. There's a couple of abandoned conveyor lines around you with small pieces here or there on you. This definitely hasn't been used in a little bit of time though. No sort of sign of renovation or turning into something else or anything like that. Just an old rundown building you happen to find yourself in. The moment things sort of settle down, Sorgo, you will feel an attempt to rip out of your grip. Not so much out of like fear, but more frustration that this giant lizard is gripping this guy's arm. But he's nowhere near strong enough to break out of your grip. He's just kind of like, yanking at you a little bit. As you can see clearly now, the individual, as mentioned, is a... Where is he? Did I not do the thing again? I did! It's good! Everything's fine. He is still a Unix, again, as mentioned, with a lighter tan to his tone and some sort of off brown in between his like the webs on his arms. He eventually does manage to kind of wriggle out of your grip for a bit and just go, the hell's the deal?
We just saved your life, so I want you to watch your tone, mister.
Yeah, gratitude and all that. I appreciate it, but aren't you working with them?
I don't work with people who hurt food.
Are you gonna eat him?
That's not...
Yeah, good enough reason as any. All right. This is nonsense. Who the hell are the three of you?
It's like that.
Well,
We're just working on the case back in the construction site. We assumed the boss man was working on as well. And since those robots were interested in you, we wanted to see if you were involved in any way.
Working on it. Yeah, that's a loaded term, all right. Imagine Tex Jappet's working criminal justice for us, trying to find out what happened to someone down here.
He
Mr.
didn't
Ivory
say
Tower
he
himself.
was. He didn't say he was working for you. He said he wanted the situation resolved.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Tex doesn't care about what happens to anything down here. He makes a squash every 55 seconds, as far as I know. Doesn't seem like he cares that much.
And more importantly, now that you shot at one of them, I'm pretty sure that they're 11. You know what?
I'm
they've
pretty
probably
to him.
target ID'd
shot at
you.
him. There's probably a bounty. I could probably just make as much money as turning you in, unless you feel like helping us.
That's supposed to be a threat, you'll say? And as he says that, you'll see a very brief flicker of purple flame in one of his hands.
Yeah, because that would have worked on the big guy. Yeah, we could threat.
Yeah, well, you aren't anywhere near as big as they are. What's to say I don't kill the three of you and get out of here? Disappear for a bit.
Hey, you! You don't go threatening people who just saved you. Now I'm gonna need you to walk back your tone, mister.
I'm gonna need you to not chase random strangers.
Should we have left you to die instead?
I'd rather die for my people than to be sitting in here doing nothing and arguing with you idiots.
And exactly what are you dying for? Over
Something
what?
better than this. Hellhole. I've said too much. I have to get the hell out of here.
We
No, you
just
don't.
want answers. Okay? We came here for one reason, and I think now we're all staying for a different one.
I'm gonna get my ass shot for this, aren't I? Well, beggars can't be choosers, and then you're in this now. The young youth will kind of reach into a side compartment in his, well, they're not really pants because he doesn't really have the same kind of legs that you guys do, but they're sort of some small, short-like compartments. He'll dig in one and pull out a small disc and just say, plug that into a vid screen somewhere and wait for a call from me or from somebody else.
All right.
More importantly, be very quiet, get the hell out of here, and get off the lower ring as soon as possible.
Well, I'll get off after I get paid. And you better call soon, or I'll find you.
I won't be the one calling, but I'll make sure to pass the message. As the youth will turn to leave, but he'll stop and turn back to you and just say, did you see him? The body, that is.
Yeah, we did.
You know who it was?
Everybody knows who it was. No one will say it, though.
Well, regardless of who I work for, I'm going to find who did it, and I'm going to take care of them.
Yeah, I was getting that feeling from you. Tell you what, we'll be in touch. And with that, he'll just kind of turn and leave. And after that, you'll notice for a brief moment as you exit the abandoned factory building you were in, you will see a personal communicator message go off, and it seems to be a text message from Tax. He says, received word of a contact, a small incident near your zone. Is everything okay? Do you have any leads?
No. Unfortunately, we think we had him, but he slipped out of our hands.
Yeah, these bugs can be damn slippery and annoying. But you know what? We won't worry about that for now. It's getting a bit late. Head back to your dwellings, get some food, and we'll be in touch. In fact, check in with me tomorrow if you can.
Will do.
And he'll blink away from your contact at that point.
I don't like this.
Brute bruiser.
Well, we got no other choice. I don't have much money. And we only lead we got to wait for. And probably only vid screen we got is at our apartment.
Yeah, and they indicated that we should get back out of the lower ring as soon as possible. So why don't we head on up? I'm running out of snacks anyway. That's about time to head back.
How?
Love it.
Do you even digest it, or does it just...
Pure force of will. That's all it is.
She's eating more in a day than I eat in a month.
All right. As you bicker and banter your way back to your dwellings, taking the both lift tube and the mag tube, as well as a quick sort of hover taxi, you end up back at your dwellings. I will bring you lovelies back on over so you can be there again. It's now, significantly later in the day. There's sort of an artificial light cycle in the middle ring of Forward Hope that maintains sort of the semblance of a day cycle. So you'll notice that sort of all the ambient light around you. You never really see a sun or anything anywhere close to you, but all the ambient light in the sort of on the streets just seems to kind of dim a bit as it's approaching a later part in the cycle. You are now back in your apartment. There doesn't seem to be anything out of place. Just same way you left it.
All right. I will take the chip we got, stick it in our vid screen, and sit on the couch and wait.
As you take the small circle, you hold it. There's a sort of button in the middle. You press it, and there's a small sort of port that pops out, which you can see plugs into the standard slot into any of your vid screens. You see there's a sort of slot over here on the left of the screen here. You plug it in and are immediately greeted with just static, just not really noise, just noiseless static filling the screen entirely for a while. Eventually, you sit around and wait. Maybe play some card games or play I Spy for a while. Eventually it gets to be a little later in the night. I'm sorry, Pi, go ahead. Does anything you want to say?
Oh, I said make sandwiches because again, that's the
because you have to stay nutrient. You have to keep the nutrients up. It's super important.
Power takes energy.
Sorgo will attempt to either cover the window or
there's a small button on the side you can press that kind of like tints the glass to a point where you imagine it's not visible from outside.
Yeah.
So you'll do that?
Just to be on the safe side, and you'll kind of keep an eye out to see if there are any drones hovering outside or anything.
Everything appears to be mostly normal. And as you're doing that, you'll notice that the static sort of seems to cut to a nice black screen. It remains this way for a few minutes to the point where you maybe think the vid screen might have broken or something. 11, you actually get maybe a couple seconds from like going up to go check on it or something to make sure there's nothing wrong with the programming when a face fills the screen. Oh God, not you assholes again.
Hi, Jinto.
What did you do?
Saved your friend.
Yeah, I heard about that.
See?
So, if you're more than just corpo taxes lackeys, why didn't you say anything?
Well, I tried to talk and then you told me to leave.
Yeah, I guess I did do that, huh? Well,
very rude.
Bygones, right? Let's move forward. Seems like you got in touch with something a little too important and maybe got a bit too close to some things. I don't know any of you or like you that much, but it seems like you're getting your noses a bit too close to things to what's happening down here, and I'd rather you be on the right side of history. So, what time is it now? He sort of checks his phone again and says, about 8.5 hours cycle.
Not even hard to remember.
Rest, recover from your injuries. I'm sorry, go ahead, Alicia.
It's 2 letters. It's not even hard to remember. Pi. I said it several times.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like you very much. It's up to suck, I guess. But he will, so he kind of just turns and says, you have about 6.5 hours to get some rest, maybe recover your strength. Meet me in the, so he will sort of send a small comm ping to your, or a small geo ping to your thing, donating a small location, not too far from Bastion 22A, but several subsections below it, and says, come there, come by yourselves, and don't tell the rat, please. And then he hangs up.
They really got to work on their manners.
Well, I'm going to go rest. I'll see you guys in 5.5.
Yeah.
Is that what everyone's doing?
Sorgo is going to pop outside the door and just check and see if there's any movement, any signs that there are praetors keeping watch for our safety or anything like that.
Doesn't appear to be. Doesn't seem like he had the resources to stretch any and send any up into the middle ring to keep tabs on you.
Okay. He will sleep then, but he'll.
All right.
keep one hand on his pistol, which is sitting on top of his chest, and he will sleep in the. Give me a second. And he will position himself on this couch over here so that he can have a clearer shot to the whoever's coming through the door.
All right. As
And-
our lovely adventurers take some time to get some rest. Sorry, Pi, go ahead.
Before that, was there any way Pi can do like a computer or engineering check on the device they had to see if she can, like, if necessary, like backwards trace like the source of the call or anything for location?
Go
If
for
not,
it.
that's fine. She just try and try it.
Go for it.
Okay. My computer's better.
Take your time. Oh, well rolled.
Yay.
28. All right, let me bring y'all back here super quick so I can do this. Oh no, wrong thing. Yeah, Pi, you managed to sort of reverse, sort of engineer your way into the fine workings of the device. You find that it's sort of designed to trace a ping signal off of a generic sort of like communicator code and then encrypt it and then send it somewhere else, basically. So it's meant to be a simple two-way connection back and forth. And through tracking that, you managed to get the contact info for Jinto.
There we go. Perfect.
All right. Are we heading off to the rest now, friends?
Yes.
Fantastic. I am going to need to roll a quick d6. Pardon me. Because we had a thing that happened earlier. All right, so you all go to get some sleep. You go to rest, and you know it's not exactly a very long time. It's a little bit longer than a short rest would be in D&D, maybe a couple hours. Get yourself some rest, take yourself some sleep. 11 and Sorgo, you guys hop on out of bed, ready to go. You refresh yourselves. You know it's time to get to business. There's some serious stuff afoot in Forward Hope. You are ready to get to the bottom of it, except you hear some incredibly loud snoring coming from Pi's room. Sorry, Pi, you rolled narcolepsy.
Oh no!
Half-hearted attempts to awake you have no effect. Aggressive attempts might succeed, but you will gain 1 level of exhaustion.
Can I touch her food?
Could you roll intimidation for me?
Oh.
Oh Lord.
You gave it to the right one. Let's see.
You go. So previously in your adventures, you definitely recall times where like Pi put some food in the fridge or something, and like you were like, yeah, she's definitely asleep. I could probably grab a little bite. It probably won't be a problem. You went to pick it up, and she was just there next to you, just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's my food. What are you doing? But strangely enough, you go to find. Somehow she had an extra bag of those meat snacks from the fair. I don't know where she got them from or put them, but she had them. You find them in the fridge, and you go to pull one out, and there's nothing. And then you bite one, and there's nothing.
What? Oh Lord. All right, I guess we got to try the aggressive option.
Sorgo will lean down just close to her face and then breathe in deeply and just roar as loud as he can.
All right, Sorgo, can you roll intimidation for me?
Yeah.
Roll a what? Roll a what? Roll a what? Roll a what?
That is not a
Nope.
one.
That
That is the opposite of a one, actually. Yeah, Sorgo, you let back a roar so loud it damn near shakes the entire building. There's probably some people a couple floors down who are a little bit less than pleased with you right now. But Pi shoots awake, headbutts you a little bit, and doesn't even suffer exhaustion. She's just immediately fully active, fully ready to go.
What was that about? That was loud. Is somebody eating my food?
Uh-oh.
I toss it to her. Say, breakfast. Let's go.
All right, cool cats. You make your way moving. Another similar transit ride. However, in the wee early hours of the stellar cycle, there are so few people aboard the trans this time. There's an eerie silence as you slowly make your way through. Your maglev moves its way through the through the middle ring towards the central transit hub where it lands. You take a nice large hub. You take a nice large transit hub all the way down to the lower ring again, but this time you follow it down even further past its first stop to a sort of sub-level where you can see anything from massive sewer pipes to huge industrial fans. They're definitely still complexes and places to live and places to stay, but this does not seem like the kind of place you would expect anyone to want to spend any great deal of time. You move your way through for a while, taking in the scenery and trying not to make too much of a scene of yourselves. In the early hours of the morning, there aren't too many bystanders on the street to notice you. Occasionally, you will notice someone that seems maybe a bit intent to be there, and those people do seem to give you some slightly more intense stares as you move past, keeping their eyes on you as you move place to place. You walk by, investigating different areas, wondering what could be going on and how things could be happening, when suddenly you approach a massive subsection. It opens up to a wide mouth tunnel that goes several stories far above your head. You follow this tunnel for a very long way, industrial lights lighting your path the whole way, and opens up to a massive open sewer complex with a building in front of you, like so.
Oh, that's a big one.
You would assume this is the place you were looking for. There is not any kind of guard or anything outside of the front.
Oh.
Well, we
Nice
were
you picked the
invited.
place that fits it. Lev is just basically gonna say, it's nice he picked a place that matches personality.
Yeah,
and he is going to head towards the door and give it a good knock. Exactly. See, Pi gets me.
As 11, as you approach the door, you'll see a small little device pop out of here and sort of just like begin to look at you and scan for a bit. There's a sound like of a comm system, almost as if someone was about to speak to you. There's an awkward pause after that happens, and there's no response. There's nothing said over the comm. Eventually, it simply clicks back shut, and these two doors here, just with a hum of motion and a shutter, shift open and allow you inside. Let me do the fun thing where I reveal the area now. Hiya. As you enter in, you see some sort of large base-like structure. The sewer compound appears to have been converted into a hab structure. There appear to be domicile structures on either side with large chairs and tables. On those tables are various assortments of weapons, arms, ammunition, grenades, tools, supplies, medical utensils. You think of it, it's probably on some of these tables somewhere. Eunuchs armed in heavy weapons and dressed in military-like garb move around left and right, busying themselves at terminals or consoles, chatting and having banter or sharing a drink at a seat. Some come into and out of these rooms, likely either prepping for or moving away on to sleep. Occasionally, every now and then, you'll see an individual even pop out of these hatches here on the side, fully armed and equipped, as if they just came back from a mission. Ahead of you, you see Jinto sitting behind a console with a few screens all around him and behind him, illuminating different sort of behind him is actually this massive sort of map of Forward Hope, specifically the lowered ring, with different points of interest denoted here and there. And to his, to his left, off on the side, you see that little brat you were chasing down earlier. He, as he sees you, kind of folds his arms and offers a sort of goofy salute in your direction. We meet again.
Oh, hi there. Good morning.
Jinto cuts off the fanfare and says, "So you've already met my son, Tassir, and I'm glad about that. I had him keeping an eye on you after you left the bar because I didn't think I could trust any of you. I wanted him to report back to me, but of course the idiot had to go and get himself damn near caught. He's young, impetuous, but he has a good heart. I won't bore you with that anymore, though. What's more important is that you know everything that's going on here. Tell me, what do you know about Forward Hope? More specifically, how it was built."
Oh, well, they were trying to find a really big workforce for it. They located, but not sure how willing everybody was about that. That's the main thing that comes to mind for me.
And who do you think that workforce was?
Was it your people?
My people, and my father's people, and my father's father's people, and every person they have known since the moment they have born, have done nothing but live in service to this station. oppressed by it, subjected to it, shown none of it, given none of it. I remember the last of our world here. You Knicks are older than you, squishier folk. So I can remember the last days of our planet. Verdant fields turned to ash, mountains reduced to rubble, long lines of sharp magma, entire bloodlines lost. We were told we were being saved, and instead we have served and suffered and gained nothing. But I won't allow that anymore. If we can't get off this damn station, I will carve a place for us to be safe, with these 2 hands and every gun I can find. You'll notice that as he finishes his speech, Tassir seems to be kind of like plumped up and excited, kind of like very resounded in this.
Who was the person that passed? Or was assassinated, really? Am I telling?
Sloppy was one of ours. A good guy. Wasn't too deep, never picked up a gun or anything, but he had ideals. Wasn't afraid to voice them. Well liked, too. Went public for a bit, made a bit too much noise, and, well, people who get loud tend to get quiet pretty fast around here.
Yeah, that was definitely a cover-up job with the crushing, as it were.
Yeah. Exactly what we were thinking. But with no evidence, no claims, no ability to speak up for ourselves, and no representation in the legal system, there's not a lot we can do. Tax lets the Praetor Guard handle everything from law enforcement to sentencing to punishment. And their algorithms are incredibly, well, he calls them efficient.
That he does. Was your son able to take a picture from up above before he scampered?
We have some information on the scene, but we couldn't get too much. Nothing too clear before we had to take off, unfortunately. But we'll have to find another lead before we can do anything else about this. The best thing we can do is find some more information on the case, and I'm sorry. There's a bit of a pause as he gets a sort of communication. He says, yes, I know. No, they're fucking clueless, but I'm doing what I can here, okay? No. They'll work. One of them's pretty damn big. Yeah, we'll make it work. I agree. Let's prep. He'll then kind of end that call there and say, apologies. Had something to do with you, but it wasn't important for just yet. Let's talk business, as it were. How much is the dear Regent paying you for your little investigation mission?
I will be honest about whatever the price is.
Jax offered you your typical pay for a job is something around the scale of like 500 or so units. Jax seemed to offer you not only that up front, but a sort of that rate again upon completion of the job. So double your usual rate, basically. Yeah, Rich asshole's paying out for it, huh? Guess that makes the most sense. Sorry to say that I can't offer you anything like that. What I can say, though, is that Tax Shepard is not the kind of person you want to be on the side of. He's a ruthless asshole. Cares about his bottom dollar and not much else.
And noticed.
You there, Wizard. It kind of points at the big one with the guns.
I'm just like, that's both of us.
You ever seen the Vesk Homeworld?
Only through a viewport.
What's it look like? Pretty, I bet, all the way up from space.
A lot of things look pretty from far away.
Yeah, not everything. Imagine looking outside and seeing your home or what used to be it, gone. Imagine seeing the ghosts of all the people you've had to let die, who everyone else has forgotten, every single day of your endlessly long life. All I have done in all my time here is think. And I think I'm tired of thinking.
If you've thought, that means you've planned, right?
Planned and planned and planned. But I believe now might be the... He cuts off again as there's another communication in his ear. Yeah, I already told... What? And just outside, y'all can hear this. And suddenly, a few sounds of shouting, and before immediately, this. God damn it. Were you followed?
Not as far as I know.
All right,
Sorgo,
people. Party time. Let's move.
Sorgo pulls the laser rifle and just
You'll notice that some of the other units around here begin to sort of I can't grab anybody for some reason. Did I put them on the wrong layer? I sure did. Begin to kind of run and make their way towards the front here. Tassir draws his sword, and again, you see that his upper left hand ignite in a purple flame. He just kind of steps back a bit and waits, and then out front, you can hear that there is a bit of commotion and disturbance, but you know that there were a few forward guards posted, and suddenly you begin to hear a large thumping against this door. Incredibly loud. And maybe about 3 or 4 dumps go through before the door finally explodes in a shower of fragmented metal and splinters. And I'm gonna need everyone here to roll me some initiative, cause it's combat time. All right. I'm gonna lower the alarm. Perfect. I'm sorry, Starfinder, Roll20, what are you doing? Initiative shouldn't be percentile, shouldn't be decimals. That's not how that works. That's fine, it doesn't matter. Let me go ahead and just add some turns for y'all, I guess. Boom. Wait, hold up, I'm doing everything wrong. Oh no, I've ruined it all. It's like I fixed it, it's fine. The world just shifted a little bit, don't worry about it. Why can't I add you at a turn?
I don't think we have control of our tokens.
You don't. I just realized that. It's okay. I'll just keep track of initiative on my own. Don't worry about it. So what do we got? Tell me them numbers.
Sorgo
16.
has 17.
Sorgo's got a 17. Pie's got a 16. 11, what you got?
12.
11's got a 12. Alarm's still a little bit loud. I'm gonna turn it off because it's really annoying at this point, actually. And
11 can shout it to Jay to turn off that damn alarm.
Fair enough. Oh, yikes. Praetor's not doing well.
Good.
And then soldiers. That's the wrong dice I'm rolling. Also not doing good. All right. Combat kicks off. Sorgo, you're up first.
He will.
Hang on, let me go ahead and make sure these guys are in their proper spaces. Give me 1 second. Because I didn't actually even move them into place. So yeah, there. Ta-da! There you go. All right, go ahead. Have fun.
All right.
In fact, there's like a double door right here. I forgot to put it on the map. There's like a double door right here.
Got it. He will kind of swing the rifle around and then let off 2 shots. I think I'm supposed to take a -2 penalty, or is it a -4 for taking
for double shots? It's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
-2? Okay. So he will make 2 attacks.
But I'm pretty sure you have a +2 from chat somewhere, so I think you might actually be okay.
Okay. I will just not add anything then, because I think that the attack bonus is wrong for some reason. I don't know.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
So high. Yes, it's a full attack.
All right, those actually will. Let me go. I had notes for this. There we go. Encounter notes. Haha! I planned for this. Look at me doing the great job. And I'm assuming you're using your laser rifle there, which both does energy damage.
Yes.
You got a
13 to hit with the first one.
Okay. So the first one hits and does the 18 damage. So Sorgo, you aim down the sights with your rifle, and as sort of this first one breaches the door, you take a nice clean 2 shots at it, and you sort of ping off like this one. You blow off the whole outer shoulder, and like part of the inner circuitry is exposed here. It doesn't seem to stop or worry about it at all, but it definitely did take a nice huge chunk out of it. All right, Pie. Is there anything else you want to do? Or is that it?
The second shot missed, right?
Yeah, second shot did miss. Yes.
Okay. He will then kind of beckon everybody to move over to behind cover, and he will try to get over here. Let me ping it. There we go. And they know the deal. They know they're supposed to get within 5 feet of him, if
Got
possible.
it. Makes sense. All right. I've given you all control of your tokens, I believe. So there you go.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
Pi, you're up. Let's do it.
All right. Pi's gonna supercharge.
Oh.
Weapon. So next shot he takes will be real good if it hits.
All right. Tell me how it happens. Walk me through it.
So let's see. This morning for breakfast, she had fruit in honor of the fruit that was bruised and mishandled yesterday. So there's just a stream of there's a stream of like banana-esque peels kind of fruit going on during the thing. So it's like the gun itself is briefly like slowly wrapped up in a banana cocoon. and then as it like dissolves into sparkles, there's still that faint smell that lingers. And you could call it an appealing smell.
All right.
And then she's gonna hide behind cover.
Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Go ahead. Do your thing. You hurt me. You wound me, okay? Why do you do this to me?
Good.
Make your fucking attack, please.
I got you. No, so she's supercharging Sorgo's weapon for next time.
Oh, okay.
She's
Gotcha.
utility mostly.
Makes sense for me.
Yep.
Okie doke. Anything else?
Nope, I'm taking cover because I think she can only do because that's a standard action. So yeah.
All right. Up next, 11. You're up.
How many guys are actually attacking us?
4.
Oh, that's no help.
4. This one over here is pretty effed up.
Oh, they're way down. I can see them past our characters. There we go. All right. No, you're good. So, actually, I'm going to try and roll deception because I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to shout, "Hey, I work for your boss." We should have those credentials, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to shout at them, "I have not attacked you. I am doing my job. They should know they're not to attack me."
Roll deception.
All right. And of course, I lost the page.
You got it. I believe in you.
There we go. I don't see deception. Would that be diplomacy?
Oh wait, is that not? Yeah, it's diplomacy.
Bluff.
Or bluff. Bluff is the word. I'm used to
right.
playing D&D and not Pathfinder.
Some of them are the same and some of them aren't.
Yeah. Complicated game. Give me that bluff check.
There you go. Is that it? There we go.
21.
Hey.
So as you begin to call out to them, denoting that you are still denoted as a non-hostile and shouldn't be attacked, the Praetor Guard don't speak, as they aren't coded to at all. But you do notice that the 2 in front do seem to kind of not so much hesitate as take a brief pause. They don't point their weapons straight at you, but they don't seem to be showing any signs of stopping.
So with that, I'm just going to try to walk past them.
Good luck.
All right. Oh, wait, there's my character. Are they gonna let me pass?
What's your movement?
30 actually, because I'm not flying.
Oh, okay.
Where am I at? 1, 2, 3. So yeah, get about there.
As you go there, you notice that the 2 who lower their rifles come to a very clipped martial poise and point them back at you and say, "Prefect notes you have broken terms of service. You have 3 seconds to comply or you will be fired upon."
Of course they did. Try to work for a guy. How am I? Can't argue with robots. Tell them, let me get in touch with your boss.
They don't say anything.
All right. In that case, then, let's shoot. Is that door destroyed or is it closed or is it just open?
Oh, it's broken. This right is broken. It's destroyed.
All right. Well, in that case, I will just fire on them then.
Shoot it.
All right.
Shoot the gun.
I got the gun.
Shoot the gun.
Shot them down. Bang, bang.
Which one are you aiming at? This one over here is at least is the one damaged by Sorgo. What's the one?
All right. I'll aim at that one.
Go for it.
Miss.
You take the shot, and it kind of pings off of the other shoulder pad, the one that's still intact.
All right.
The Praetor Guard are up now. This one here will come close and move up to you, 11. This one here will move 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to attack this one up with opportunity, you can, because it came within 5 feet of you. This one's gonna attack you, so so don't worry about that one. But this one back here, you can if you'd like.
All right, and let's see.
Am I playing that wrong? Who knows? Probably. Who cares?
Opportunity.
Meanwhile, the rest will just kind of keep moving. That's a hit. Give me damage.
And that is a different weapon. That is a so 3.
You manage to pink it in the side, so like you kind of like as it like comes at you, you see it run by. You turn like just like plink off a shot at it. You ding it in the head a little bit, seems like maybe knock off a sensor or something. It doesn't even do too much damage over, but it does hit it. You definitely hit it. All right, this one here is going to this one here will ignore 11 and swing for the door here. Try and just kind of like crack it open. Except it's already open. That's what I wrote in my notes. I'm sorry. Never mind. Don't mind me.
Whoops.
Instead, it will just take a shot with its rifle at that guy over there. Once I get the thingy up. Hiya. Here it is. So he takes a shot over at this guy over here. This guy just dives for cover. It's completely managing to avoid the shots as they kind of swing into the corridor. Jinto will kind of call out just like, they're at the door, like defensive positions, kind of encouraging these people to start taking more solid positions. This one here, instead of drawing its rifle, will pull out the large quarterstaff from behind its back. It'll twist the middle of it, and you'll see the ends spark with electricity, 11, as it goes to take a swing at you. Once I get up the sheet again. Does a 19 hit you, 11? Take 9 damage. Remember, it goes away from your resolve points or your stamina points first.
All right. I'm still up.
Got it. He's all good. So yeah, they'll do that, and then these other two. This one will use his full action to just kind of like run in here and get over here. This one here will do the same thing, pushing past his friend to get here. The fighters are gonna go now. Gotta get on the right layer. Here, actually. Oh, I did it again. I fixed it. There we go. This one here will kind of just step back. They're kind of thinking about keeping Tatsir safe. They will both shoot at this Praetor Guard here. Let me just go ahead and roll those 2 attacks. That's the wrong character sheet. There we go. I rolled like 3 of them? Nope, I rolled 2. Okay. Oh, so one will definitely hit. Take a nice solid plink out of it. The resistance soldier will aim a strange-looking sort of assault rifle with a bayonet kind of tucked into the end of it. As he pulls the trigger, you'll hear a sound, like a splitting sound. Actually, you'll hear this sound specifically. And out of the end of the barrel of the gun, rather than a beam of hard light or a laser, you see kind of this crystalline, very, very sharp, glowing crystal spike come out of the weapon. The first one goes wide. The second one does manage to take the Praetor Guard in the chest and knock off some more armor plating. So get out of the way. Here takes some damage. This guy here is currently in melee combat and will try to disengage, taking an opportunity attack as he does so. Yikes! Okay, so As this guy here goes to make a step back, he tries to like, create some distance because this Praetor Guard is at least 3 or 4 feet taller than him. The Praetor Guard, recognizing the sort of target disengaging, will draw that massive staff, twist it online, and kind of like shift their hand down towards the bottom of it and take a nice wide swing. And you'll notice, despite the fact that you're pretty sure 11s haven't seen, stun tech used before, you're pretty sure the point is to poke a person with the end and electrocute them to take them out. But this person, the Praetor Guard just swings really hard. The side of it catches this person in the neck, and you hear a sickening wrench as the person's neck moves a bit too far out of place. And they are dead. Yes, they will be dead once I can actually. And they die, slumping to the ground in pain without so much as a whimper. This one here will fire at this guy here. I keep forgetting to have the character sheet up because I'm bad at things. It will hit, pinging some more damage off of this one. So again, this one up here is kind of looking a little bit damaged, honestly. Now it's got some of its armor definitely treading. You can even see some of the wiring and circuitry kind of coming out of the back of it as it just eats a couple of rounds from the spike rifle here. And that is it. We will cycle it back around to Sorgo. Go, Sorgo.
11.
Time to Sorgo.
And he'll aim the shots at this one. He will take a single shot. I forgot I wasn't supposed to be able to get a full movement last turn.
Don't worry about it.
So he will, we'll say he took the rest of the movement this turn and took that shot at this one over here.
Okay, you're going for this one right here? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
And did it do the thing? Didn't do the thing. Do the thing. No. Single shot.
Go for it.
Does a 12 hit?
Does a 12 hit? Let me see. Is that energy?
It is an energy, yes.
It does actually hit.
Awesome.
10 damage. So yeah, you.
It also.
Yeah, it's overcharged.
Yeah.
Oh, overcharged. You're right. Go ahead and roll that. Actually, you know what? Don't even. Just tell me how it happens.
He lines up a shot for. He's going to shoot off the arm, and then thinks better of it and aims for roughly where he thinks its battery pack is. Takes a shot to make it explode.
Mm-hmm. And just you blow out, like you see as you take the shot, you see like a sort of small pack of like some sort of energy kind of burst out of its back and then just explode behind it, and just like it just crumples over, dead, slumps over, completely deactivated.
Get over here!
Sorry, go ahead.
He just yells, "Get over here!" and is ready for whatever's coming next.
You got it. Is that all?
Yeah, that's it for his turn.
Pie, get it.
Magic missile time.
Magic
We're gonna
missiles.
Make it 4 rounds, so I'm gonna actually get 3 of these. Let's roll it.
Magic missiles.
Does
It's
it not
a
roll
kind
the
of-
damage automatically? Apparently it doesn't. Okay, whatever. I'll just do it manually.
It's fine. Who are you targeting? Just one person? All three?
I'm gonna focus all 3 on one of them.
Which one?
This one.
Got it. Give me some damage.
3.
12. Yikes. All right. So you wind up these bolts of magical energy and unleash them in a torrent of unseen force. The Praetor
They all
Guard
have a vague apple smoke to
have
them.
a very, very vague sense of apple smoke to them. Just a nice, very nice, crispy applewood smoke, kind of like, scent to it. And it just takes the Praetor Guard in the chest. It seems like it almost can't even fully detect. It's not built to detect magical energy almost. So it doesn't notice the energy or dodge it. It just takes it right in the chest. And bumps against this back wall it's already at right here. And seems to shrug off some parts. It's not looking too great, honestly. This one's looking a little worse for wear, personally.
And that was my full round. So.
All right, 11, go. You have a +2 right now this round.
All right, so I am basically thinking of it. Which one looks the most damaged?
This one right here is looking pretty messed up. This guy here is definitely combat damage, but still seems mostly functional. And this guy here hasn't been touched.
All right, so since he's closest, I'm going to use the one sticky bomb I've been saving for this very occasion.
Okay, Sticky bomb it then.
Yep. I'm going to attach it to him and then run with my rest of my move behind cover of the open. Like, I assume this is like a little.
There's a door here, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to stick it to him and then just full move out the way.
Got it. It doesn't get the attack opportunity move because I already used the reaction already. So I'll swing you just over here. Yeah, you can go ahead. So does it say when that detonates?
I did not read the rules on that.
That's fine. How about we just do it this way? Roll me 1d4. Odds it detonates this round and evens next round.
All right. Let's see.
When in doubt, we just GMP on it. Who cares?
There you go. 2.
Cool. So it's sort of you stick the bomb to it, and you can kind of hear this sort of like ticking sound as it's like it's definitely prepping. It's sort of just beep beep beep, but slowly ticking up. It's definitely gonna blow pretty soon. Anything else for you, 11?
That was my standard. Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Back to the old guard. This one here will recognize the now magical threat. Magic is not considered legal in the lower ring, so it immediately recognizes that an infraction has occurred, and will sort of move up a little bit, and will take a shot at the big scary lizard in front of him, I suppose. Might as well, right? Actually, you know what? He won't even do that. Yeah, he will do that. I lied. That and here comes that, assuming I can roll a button. What's that do? The 13 hit you.
You're muted.
You're currently muted, sir.
That makes more sense. 13 does not hit.
Oh, all right. So yeah, he raises his rifle, takes the shots, but Sorgo kind of like brings up his arm and sort of tanks the few that do hit him on his armor, and the rest kind of go wide. No big deal, no problem, no issue. This one here is still engaged. It will swing with its stun staff, which hasn't been doing a whole lot of stunning today, to be perfectly honest.
Is that a stunning development too?
Oh no.
Oh.
Nice. That's a hit there. This guy here will sort of take some damage and will sort of again kind of be slumped back a bit, kind of screeches in a bit of pain, as it appears like that the Praetor Guard is not looking to arrest this guy. So yeah, this one over here will move through the room, recognizing it's probably pretty close to blowing. And it will so it moves into the room. As it moves into the room, it hears the ticking, and you can see, despite it being a robot, kind of do like a quick little, once over. It recognizes the sticky bomb is on its side, and it's basically gonna recognize that it doesn't really have much of a way out. I need to roll a quick dodge save if you don't mind me. I swore there was a button for it. Why are you like this, dude? Do this. Oh, thank God. Okay. The Praetor Guard attempts to basically just fall on top of this guy before it explodes to take him with it. But our dear friend appears to be pretty quick on the uptake as he moves the hell out of there before this thing just falls over and just nice big wide blue explosion as it goes up. It goes up. That's it for it. I need to give it the dead thing. I can't do that. Hold up. Give it the dead thing. Wait, that's not right. There it is. That's the dead thing. All right, that's it. Soldiers are up next. This one will. So these two here will just try to keep Tassir safe, and we'll just take the shots at him. Oh, right. Buttons. There we go. I found him. I'm sorry, guys. Hiya. And hiya. Wait, I did it wrong. Another one. There you go. Okay. So yeah. So while this guy over here maybe needs to get some coffee in the system, he's not really feeling it right now. This guy over here is definitely in the mood for it. He kind of starts aiming again at spike rifle, takes a nice kind of clean shot. Maybe a bit concerned that he's seeing his friends die a bit here or there. Takes a few shots and actually managed to ping one right in that sort of small weird gem in the middle of the Praetor Guard's head. Boom! And just takes it out, and the Praetor Guard just falls over, slumped. And as things seem to look kind of rough for all the Praetor Guard, given that there's only one left, you'll notice that the sort of light that you just meant to be either its sensor or its activation light or its denoting shifts from a blue to a very bright looking orange. And I need Pi and Sorgo to give me dex saves right now.
Oh no! That's not my good stat.
I also have to give a dex save for somebody privately.
Dex save.
You better not blow up.
Reflex. That's not terrible.
So the Praetor Guard, recognizing it is now outnumbered and cannot afford to give up its precious software or programming, will enable a fail-safe program. A large chime will ring out as it literally, you would think it would just maybe start like exploding on the spot, but instead it looks up, eyes Jinto, and sprints for him at top speed. Takes off for him, hops over this console, and enwraps him in a bear hug. Boom. And with that, I will bring us out of initiative. Stop music. Dust clears. The building around you appears incredibly damaged. Laser burns and shots are placed all over the walls. And as the dust finally settles, you can see ahead of you, lying prone in the spot where he was, though you still hear faint coughing coming from the figure. Jinto is on the ground, and as you look, you can, for the first time, see past those robes as most of them are blown open. Unfortunately, the few bits of torso you can see look to be mostly just a mess of bloody tissue and intestines. Things don't look so good. Tassir will immediately sprint over to his father's side. Well, he will as soon as I can actually grab the kid and control him. There we go. He'll sprint over to his father's side. And curiously enough, where previously they seem to be speaking in some language you guys could easily translate, perhaps some sort of galactic common. Instead, you'll simply just hear a collection of clicks and whirs, a sound almost like rough sandstone as a father speaks to his son briefly. There's an awkward sort of quiet as the remaining soldiers simply turn away, begin maybe busying themselves, trying to not be a part of the scene. How do you react?
Pi's gonna start stripping the Praetor Guards that are still there because they didn't all blow up. She's gonna start stripping them for tech and see if she can like reprogram them or anything. Try and help.
Could you give me some sort of computer or engineering check? Either one's fine.
I sure can.
Anybody else want to do anything while she's doing that?
I actually want to re-roll that because I think I can roll better.
You have a re-roll. And you rolled better.
I did.
Good job. Anybody else want to do anything else while that's happening?
Sorgo will kind of stay next to them, to the two of them. Not in a way that's gonna be obvious, but just, attempting to be just sort of a presence off to the side in case he's needed.
Okay. And 11, what are you up to?
I want to do a quick look to see if any of these weapons that are just sitting around might have a couple extra grenades to replace the one I just lost.
Feel free to give me I'm not even going to worth it. I don't worry about that. As you are picking around the table, you don't see any sticky bombs, but you do notice 3 tactical grenades that no one seems to be keeping their eyes on. I'll give you stats for them a little bit. Don't worry about it.
I got it. All right, got them in the list.
Cool. All right, cool. You're good then. So yeah, you notice 3 of those just kind of sitting around. You kind of just pick them up like, oh, okay, well, I don't think anybody's worrying about these right now. So maybe it's a bit of an awkward moment. Somebody's trying to tell you to stop or anything.
No. Okay, yeah.
Sorgo, as you stand by and see Tassir stand over the slowly dying body of his father, you'll see them share a moment as they begin to converse. They'll talk and you'll see Tassir say, "Wait, father, no, this isn't fair. You have to get up." Jinto will cough slowly, and before where you would hear sass or sarcasm, there's just silence. "You can't let this die here, son. You have to find your own light." And then he'll die, silently. Tassir will spend a few moments of quiet, saying nothing. Eventually, not even acknowledging you two, he'll kind of raise up. Eunuchs don't cry in the traditional sense, but for those who maybe haven't noticed, you've been feeling a slight telepathic pull at the back of your consciousnesses. Maybe not anything too intrusive, but just surface level thoughts. Perhaps noting something close to basic telepathy in the people around you. But instead, the moment you even slightly recognize the connection, in this moment here, all of your emotional receptors are flooded with turmoil and pain and sadness and rage. There's a quiet that falls over the room. No one moves or says anything. Tasir finally gets up, walks away from his father as two soldiers move to come carry the body away. He goes over here and says to this person here, almost again, completely ignoring the two of you, gather everyone that you can. Middle ring, tomorrow. This ends. He then turns back to you and says, I can't put this on you, but I don't think I need you two to be here anymore. Thank you for coming to help us, at least. I'm sure my father would have appreciated your assistance. Tomorrow, we change everything here.
11's just going to simply walk up to him and say, screw that. We're obviously not getting paid, and our boss just shot us. So I'm in this with you.
All right, then. In that case, I think I have a plan. I want you guys to, if you can, head back to your apartment. I know that sounds a little weird, but I'm not counting you out of this. Call your boss back. Tell him things got a little hairy. You weren't too sure what went down, but we're dead. Tomorrow? Well, let's just say you'll know what to do when you go visit your boss tomorrow.
I'll ask for a communicator that probably won't be bugged, because I assume what happened was the last one he gave me was easily traced.
Tazim will go over and pick up his father's personal phone and sort of hand you a contact information from that and just says, this is my father's encrypted line. I'll keep my hands on it for a bit. If you need anything, just call him, I guess. I sure will be.
We'll take care of this tomorrow.
For once and for all. And with that, he'll kind of just turn and head towards sort of one of the domiciles over here. Actually, he kind of goes into this vent down here, heads down into the hatch.
Oh dear, hold on. I want to give you the control for these bots I'm reprogramming.
Ooh. So he will sort of take a hand on it and just say, I'm not really any good with tech, but what's the radius on this? Will it control one or two Praetor bots or Praetor Guard, or all of them?
It'll at least I could roll a d20 to determine how much it is.
Whatever you want it to be, doesn't matter.
Okay, just like, I'd say you got about a 30-foot radius on it.
30 feet isn't great. Tell you what,
no.
Why don't one of you keep your hands on it? If tomorrow goes the way I'm thinking about it, you'll probably need it more than I will.
All right.
All right, if you insist.
Good luck, and be safe.
You too.
You too. And you know what? Pie's gonna give him a sandwich.
Aw, gotta give him a solidarity sandwich.
Solidarity
witch.
Hashtag
solidarity witch, if you will. But
all right, then we can go back.
So you guys head on back towards your domicile. A heavy, somber feeling in your hearts for a moment as the night's events weigh on you. Sleep might not come super easy, but it comes. Patience as the night wanes on and artificial daylight comes to you. But yesterday and the day before, while the middle ring was always alive with noise and metropolitan bustle, you could never really hear that so high up in your apartments, given the 130 floors you are. Strangely enough, though, when you wake up in the morning, you can absolutely hear something coming from the ground level, so loud that even from Soho all the way up here, you can't mistake it.
I go to the window to check.
As you look out of the window, you can see what looks like a carpet of bodies. The middle walkway of the middle ring is filled to the brim with people. There are signs. There are people throwing up sort of different kinds of fireworks and other holographic displays. But anything else, above all of it, you can hear chanting. Distinct, strong chanting. This is a protest. At which point, the moment you guys look up, you get a call from, you see the screen pop up again. That same S symbol with the Forward Hope logo emblazoned in that small corner pops up on your screen. And with almost no preamble, no greeting, nothing, my office, now! And then he just closes it.
Well, that was rude.
I'll tell you what, if he doesn't pay us, he's gonna have one of these new grenades of mine.
I mean, I thought we all kind of agreed we probably weren't going to get paid.
Yeah. So, grenades for everybody. Come on. I hope that
payment.
Are they rated E for everyone?
Oh,
no. Oh man.
Oh no.
I can't even. What is that?
Okay, I'm good. I'm bringing it back. All right, so you head on down. You take the elevator all the way to the bottom floor, as far down as you can go. You make your way out to the front floor, and the protest is so packed. It's almost gotten to the front of your apartment complex. There's a rush of people all about you. And in fact, when you check the locator that you received from Tax, you'll find that he's not actually in the lower ring. In fact, he's in the middle ring. About a 20 minutes walk up the street from where you are, in the prefector's office.
So wait, isn't what's name's office in the lower room?
Mm-hmm. That's where he is. Well, that's where he told her to go. It's not where he is though. You can very clearly tell he's not there.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we take a trip somewhere else?
All right, let's head to the prefecture.
Let's do it.
All right. You make your way through the large and crowded streets, crossing different scenes of protests and slightly different forms of disobedience. At one point, you see a storefront. Its front smashed and people moving into the building and taking out what items they will and fleeing back into the street. At another corner, you see individuals tagging with some sort of strange holographic almost paint that seems to paint in a 3D, turning the sign of what looks to be some kind of law building into a massive effigy of a Yannick's head. Elsewhere, you see fireworks fly off into the streets, high into the sky, small instruments and rocks being thrown around, and in front, right in front of the prefecture's office, you can see a line of not Praetor Guard, but simple sector security, people or humans, Vesk, all kinds of different species who are native to the ring, standing in a line in strong gear, seeming to keep the peace, trying to keep the line. As you approach, interestingly enough, they part.
For us?
Mm-hmm. Only for you. If anyone else that moves up towards you gets immediately cracked down on. Like, as you guys see the part open up and begin to move forward, you see a couple people behind you say, like, look, there's an opening. Try to move through, and you see a rush of guards just like rush and crack down on those people.
All right. I'll just head on in very cautiously.
Yep.
So as you make your way up, there is nobody in the there's similarly to the way the lower district office or the lower ring office looked. There's sort of a large administrative area with desks that normally like receptionists would sit at and take care of different things. Those are all empty, but the elevators still seem to be operational. You take that similarly as you did previously all the way up to the top floor, and there you see two large regal-like chairs. In one is sat Tax Jepis, who you already know as the prefector of the lower ring. In another is sat a very, very pale woman with a sort of soft red tone to her skin. It looks almost scaly or aquatic, like she has fins and webs in between her hands. You could probably pretty easily tell by her gear or by the fact that she has a literal sign with her name in front of her desk, that this is definitely the prefector of the middle ring. And as you barge in, they are in an incredibly heated argument. And what will you do about this now? You've let them get too riled up, all of this nonsense you've done with nothing about it, and now it's affecting my ring. Calm down. This is a perfect opportunity. Let them get a little bit rowdy. Let them voice their concerns. They'll think they're heard. And if anything gets too crazy, I'll take care of it personally. If anything, we might just make ourselves some money out of all this.
Is that right?
I specifically told you to wait for me to wait for me in the lower ring. Why exactly are you here?
What you specifically said was my office, and this looks like an office you're in.
No matter. As you can see, I'm a bit predisposed, what with the current civil unrest. How can I assist you?
11 walks up to him and points his gun at him. Telling him,
Whoa! And what exactly is this?
answer why your little robot goons shot at us yesterday.
I'm sorry, but I have no knowledge of that.
Your programming, your responsibility. My friends nearly got blown up, and it's the exact same ones that caused this little disturbance that you're having right now.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about in terms of the accident. Everyone around here knows that it was an accident, and that was exactly what I hired you to figure out. I will say that I dispatched a unit of Praetor Guard to handle a possible resistance cell in the lower ring. If you were there, I can only assume you were interacting with the insurgents. Am I consider you hostile now? I mean, hard to say not given the gun in my face right now, but at 2:11?
Sorgo walks around him to the chair that he was sitting in, and he tries to pick up the chair.
Oh, okay.
And he will rip it out of the, if it's bolted down, he will rip it right out.
Give me an athletics check if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
24.
yeah. So you walk up and you kind of get a firm handhold on either arm rail of this chair, and it's like a swivelly chair, so it's like bolted in but meant to, to still swivel a bit, but no matter. You just rip, you can hear a nice solid gunk as like the nails in it or the bolts in it just rip out of the ground, and you pick the whole chair up, and he's now eye level with your however tall Vesk self. No, whoa, let's not get ourselves violent here.
He will turn the chair over and dump him out on the floor in front of 11, and then throw the chair through the window.
The chair shatters the glass window and falls to the ground. You can even hear sort of like an erupting kind of cheer from the crowd as they see this random chair go flying out of a broken glass window. The other woman present, who until now has seemed awkwardly calm about this whole situation, will simply say, "Now you know I can't just let you kill him in front of me, right? That is your plan, yes?"
As they're having this conversation, I want to call Jinko's kid.
Go for it.
Yep, use a communicator.
Yeah.
And ask him.
As you do the communicator, you make the communicator happen. You get an answer that's not a little bit different than your normal, just like kind of like communicator ping. Instead, out of your wrist, a small little holographic image of Tassir kind of pops up and just says, "And where in the world are you three right now?"
No time to talk, kid. Real quick, just want to know, is everybody a chance security feed from last night's incident?
You kind of see him tap a bit on his communicator. I'm sending you the best video that I got from last night. It ends about 3 seconds after you guys pick up the crate. It gets a good view of the body, but I can't really see the bullet wound.
No. I mean, our little fight last night.
That. Let's see. Well, the base only had one camera in the main room, and only half of the guards actually even made it in there, but yeah, sending it over now.
All right. I'll shoot this over to the middle, the mayor of the middle ring, and tell her, while we're doing a job for your boss, for your friend here, he sent in armed guards. He violated the terms of his own agreement and nearly killed us. So why shouldn't we do the same to him?
Could you roll diplomacy for me, 11?
Yep. My best suit.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll take the information in, and well, maybe even your roll might not have been that great, period, but with the undeniable video evidence of what happened right in front of you, the woman will sort of, why? And those are Praetor Guard, and Well, that man's not restrained. And that... Tax, this is unacceptable. How'd you come across this information?
Don't worry about it.
Tax will kind of just like get up for a bit, kind of brush his little cream suit off and just go, well, all right, if we're just gonna be uncivil, I want my law team in here immediately. And
why don't you go meet them? Sorgo will grab him and pick him up.
Oh my.
And
All
he
right.
will walk him over to that broken window.
Defend straight, defend straight, defend straight, defend straight.
Can you give me a intimidation with a +5? Let's go with
All
5.
right.
5 is the number.
That'll do.
That'll
That'd
do
be a
it.
27
Okay.
total.
So at first, when you first pick him up, he like tries to kind of play it off, maybe with almost like with a kind of cool off of a mafioso almost. When you first pick him up, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But like maybe 4 or 5 steps towards the edge, he's like, wait a minute, maybe this guy's kind of serious. I don't know. And by the time you're like over the edge, he's like, okay, wait. Let's talk this out. I triple your rate. You walk away. We forget any of this happened.
Jump there. But
Pie.
11, as you because you still have the communication up with Tazir right now.
Yep.
He'll turn and just say, I've got a better idea, Tax. Let's run it this way, since we seem to have, I don't know, all the bargaining power thanks to my big scaly friend over there. I'm calling for a couple things. 1, you immediately end the SecTech contract with the lower ring, removing all Praetor Guard from the area. 2, you invest that money back into the lower ring for construction of all subsections below 21 to ensure they are properly fit, appropriately staffed, and that every single person there has a job to work. 3rd, you resign and get the fuck out of our ring. And at that, kind of the middle ring prefector was kind of just like fold her hands. You get the sense that maybe the prefectors kind of don't really care too much if one gets knocked out and replaced with somebody else. So she's kind of just like, business. So Tax will kind of take in all this and just say, I can't do that. I've worked so hard for all of the things that I have here. Do you know how much I've earned doing this project?
And he'll let go of one of his hands.
Okay.
And extend him out a little bit further.
Oh no, I don't do heights. Okay.
It was such a long night. I'm so tired.
All right, okay, let's think about this. I resign, I give you everything you want, I take half of my assets and go. You'll never see me again.
You're heavier than you look, little man.
75% of the assets. I take 25%. You'll never see me again, I promise. I'll disappear, outer rim, whatever you want.
I don't think you heard clearly what was said. You're gonna do what was said, because if you can't lead with kindness, then
gravity.
You gotta go. We get rid of bad apples here. We don't eat them.
Omega elites.
So at this point, Tax will recognize that you guys clearly aren't fucking around at all. And will recognize that there's not much in the bargaining position that he's in. He just says, all right, okay, just put me down and I'm gone. I swear. No funny business. No issues. I'm a man of my word. But there is one problem, you hear from the side as the middle regent prefector finally speaks up. There is just one last thing before I send you off. Of course, you'll still be paid for your dues. I don't like to leave contractors unaccounted for. But there is one other thing we have to deal with. If Tax is stepping down, who will replace him as prefector of the lower ring?
I forward the transmission to her desk and I introduce her to the one person who could probably keep the lower ring together.
And who would that be?
What's the kid's name?
Tasir?
Tasir.
As you forward her information, Tasir will kind of notice you doing that and just go, what do you, me? Run a ring?
Listen, guys. What's going on out there is because of what happened to your dad. You're the only one they're going to listen to. Finish what he started. Make a place for your people. This is your chance.
We'll find our own light. Thank
Exactly.
you, the three of you. Genuinely.
Work on your manners if you want to thank me.
And with that, I believe it is a perfect place to end our lovely adventure. Thank you guys so much to all of my lovely, amazing players. We're gonna handle this a couple of ways. I'll do some brief outro stuff, do some chatting, some things. And after we do that, I want to do a little bit of breakdown with my players here, just chat about some things, and then we'll let you guys go off and get to your rest of your nights. This has been Toward the Farthest Dawn, a Starfinder one-shot written and run by me, Young FoXXii. If you want to find me on Twitter, you think that I do some cool stuff and like that, you can find me on Twitter at Young FoXXii. That's YUNG_FOXXII. So you can find me there. I dunk on right wingers and talk shit a lot. It's pretty fun. I also have really fun, spicy anime takes, so that's pretty cool. If you want to see me do more tabletop stuff, tomorrow I'll be playing Cyberpunk Red with some awesome friends on twitch.tv/Neon Lights Roleplay. It is the account I am literally in chat. You can see me right down there. Feel free to give us a follow. After that, I have like an hour and a half break, and then I'm right back here on TPK Roleplay for Total Party Recap with Turk and Tyrant and Sir Heck, and it's going to be super awesome. Cannot wait. So have to get me with that. And if you think that's even fun and you want to see me do even more stuff, then next Saturday, and you people are the first ones to officially be hearing about this, next Saturday, Neon Lights Roleplay officially launches its second campaign, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure called The Seven Sons. It's also a campaign written by me with 4 awesome adventures in it. You'll hear more about it. It's going to be super fun. That's all I got. That's my spiel. Please follow us on Please follow us on Twitch. We're so close to affiliate. We're like 15 followers from affiliate. Please go follow us on Twitch. Please. Thank you. Love you guys. And I will let my players talk now. So please, one at a time. Starting with my lovely Alicia. Please go ahead and outro yourselves, plug yourselves, anything you want.
Real quick, what do you mean, you people?
You know, that's a good question, actually. That's a good.
Wait, I'm Alicia or NNG9 on Twitch where I live stream. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. There's a very important part of my intro. If I don't do it, it's basically
here we
worthless.
go.
Basically worthless. So, on my Twitch, I do puns and I curse and I have snakes. This is the most photogenic one.
Yes,
you can follow me on Twitter. We're at NNG98, where I pun and curse and have snakes. Let's see, Wednesdays and Thursday nights, you can find me over on Critical Misses Twitch channel for the Vampire the Masquerade game and also the Cypher System game. One is vampires, the other one is basically a Power Rangers game. Let's see, Fridays, you can start finding me on the Chaotic Pod Twitch channel for the Hidden Magics game. That's at different times. If you're interested, again, just follow me and I'll retweet whatever it is. Saturdays, I think I sleep. And Sundays, I'm back on my channel.
Smart.
That's me.
All right.
And this is Rock.
Thank you so very much. Let's let Robotic go next. Go for it, boss.
Yeah, I'm just gonna plug my one game I'm in. I'm still on TPK. 2 Wednesdays from now, I will be doing Strahd with my wonderful companions. I will also be playing a robot there because you got to keep with the branding.
Stay on theme.
Yep, that's every other Wednesday.
I'm at
8:30. Yes. Aside from that, I just I gotta go play dad. So
fair enough. And lastly, Mr. Ark's Dragon Breath. Thank you so much for coming, boss.
Thank you all for having me. I am Ark. You can find me at Ark Dragon Breath everywhere on the internet. If you see one, that's me. Currently, I am we're coming up on the end of our own Cyberpunk Red campaign over at twitch.tv/WorldSmithCam. You can find him on Twitter at WorldSmithCam. If you follow me, you will definitely see the post. And since we are about to wrap up that campaign, I may have some openings. So I'm in the market
line. So book him up, okay? No,
Just
seriously,
saying.
I've actually seen clips of a Cyberpunk campaign. It looks really fun. Like, seriously, it looks like a really fun show. Definitely check it out.
So I'm looking forward to being more active than I have been. This was a great experience. I got to play with amazing players. I had a great DM.
Stop.
So look for me, find me. We'll do more of this.
Yes, please follow all of my players on all of their socials and anything they're doing. Please, please, please keep up with them. I handpicked these players specifically because I had seen the things that they did, their role play and their experience. Some of them I played with before, so it wasn't even a question. It was just like, all right, I gotta get like 3 or 4 awesome Black players to help me. Like, boom, 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 no question, no comments, concerns. I guess the last thing I want to do before, we send everybody off home is kind of break down for a little bit. So for those of us in chat, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, or other C words you have for me, for the players, for anything about how I wrote it, about how I put it together, about their characters, please, please, please pass them on here. Players, if you have any thoughts, questions, criticisms, anything you want to bring to me, things you felt, things you thought about, whatever, let's get it all out. I guess to get the sort of ball rolling, we talked about this a lot, players, and also I'll talk about this with some other people. I really, really debated a lot on how on the nose I wanted to treat these metaphors at first, because there's something to be said about like, just like subtlety and like, being able to convey things without being like on the nose. Hey guys, slavery metaphor, that can get tiring. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of times where allegories for race in fiction get watered down so hard that you lose the deep racial truth.
Human. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like iRobot's a great example. iRobot's an incredible allegory for the
too.
way racial bodies get commodified in science fiction. And it's like, but the diluting of it through this robotic lens removes a lot of like what could be really potent racial analysis. And it's definitely still there. It's an amazing book. But when writing this, I did a lot of thinking about like, how hard on this do I want to go? How firmly do I want to press on this? And I think with any lesser of a talented group, it might have been a lot harder to pull off, but I felt like I could just say things generally and you guys kind of just instantly picked up on like, all right, this is where we're going with this,
I liked how you didn't go full head on into it. Like we didn't need space roots. So
yeah, exactly. I didn't want space roots. Like I didn't want to be like, oh, like when I was first writing this, I actually had like there was some scenes I had written of like scenes of Unix like doing like work in camps or whatever, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm good on all this. It's not. It's too much,
Mm-hmm. And having like everybody's seen the cliche of big powerful guys kicking little guy. Like just knowing the fact that they were trapped down in the lower realm was good enough allegory as like we're the ignored, which is always a good one.
Yep.
You get the point across. The people still have some, what's the word I'm thinking of, they have some control over the environment.
Mm-hmm.
which is always important, is to make it we sit here collars and all that stuff, but can go above. Well, you know what, let us help in that sort of sense.
Yeah. And I kind of liked, I kind of, when writing this, I enjoyed the idea of you guys kind of fish out of watering this, kind of just like being dropped into this incredibly tense and terse situation and just saying, oh, okay, well, we know what we're doing,
Yep.
I think there's something to like to say about that, because, and this is going to maybe be a bit of a hot take of mine, so feel free to call me out on this, but I feel like sometimes when you have these like incredibly complex political situations in fantasy worlds and like a player or a party or your hero kind of dropped into it, there's always this really weird tendency, I feel, where the author tries to play it off as it's so complicated, let's just not talk about it. I feel like people take that with real life, and it's like, we don't have to do that in fantasy worlds, right? Like if you're gonna talk about it, if you're gonna get into it in a world of your creation, get the fuck into it, get into it, talk about it, delve into it, have the uncomfortable conversations. Was there a particular reason Starfinder was chosen as opposed to other systems, Sir Heck? Yes, two. The first, I didn't want humans, so the first system I was gonna do this in was Cyberpunk Red. I was gonna do this in Cyberpunk. But I was like, okay, if I just do this as Black people, there's probably going to be maybe a bit too on the nose here. And I had admittedly already been doing some working on a Starfinder setting for a separate thing I was working on, so I already had it fresh in the brain. So I was like, you know what? We'll go Starfinder. It's a system that I know I can run. And honestly, part of it was also intimidation. There are so many amazing Dungeons and Dragons game masters on TPK. You guys are all so great. So I was like, you know what? Let me not even try to like slide on their vibe. You know what? I'm gonna make my own bag right here. I'm gonna get in my own lane real quick. So I hopped in the Starfinder bag. While I'm talking about GMs, I have to shout so many people out. My God. So many people help make this work for me, and I can't even thank all of you enough. Luca for helping me find sounds and helping me get things together. Proper Nerdy for the overlay and everything. Cole for handling the stream. Sarah for helping me with descriptions and writing, and Mr. Rogers and Turk for sitting in chat with me at 3 a.m. while I write this crap and didn't sleep. Like, you guys are so amazing, everyone at TPK. I love you all so very much, and you're probably gonna see me cry about that tomorrow on TPR. But we'll deal with that later. Seriously, you guys are amazing, and this would not have come together without you guys. So thank you all for helping make this work. And again, thank you all, my players, for participating in this, for having so much fun with your characters. We hadn't really talked much about characters at all. No. It was kind of just like, okay, what are you playing? Oh, I'm playing Vest Soldier. Okay, Vest Technomancer. Okay, I'm gonna play Android Technomancer. Okay, and I kind of just left that up to you guys. And I don't think I could have came up with better characters for you guys, even if I wrote them entirely on my own. Like, your characters were so fun. They had such great personalities. They were so distinct. I don't know. Talk to me about that for a bit. Like, what kind of helped you inform your choices of character for a bit?
You go first.
You go ahead. Nope, you go first.
All right.
I'm in Canada. You will never outweigh me.
Nope. That's like I said. I've always get with the screen name. Love robots. Love Warforged. So I remember I haven't played the 3.5. As soon as 5 came out, 4 came out. Warforged. Whatever it was, I was back in. And when I had never played Starfinder, so when I looked at the background of androids, you know, they basically were in the same concept as our guys in this. They were built for labor, and then they got sentience, and then they fought for their freedoms, and there's still some of them out there still dealing with that. If there was a longer campaign, I probably would have tried to harp on it just a little bit, probably made a part of my story, but I'm kind of glad that instead I got the opportunity to help someone else as a character without being, oh, well, I've been in your shoes too, because technically 11 hasn't. So, yeah. But 11 understands what their people have been through. And
yeah, and I have to mention that real quick, not to like jump on you guys,
cool.
But like, I love that so much that you guys, like, when it came to the interacting with the Unix, there wasn't any sense of like you guys trying to like trauma share. There wasn't like any of you being like, oh yeah, well, I've been through this, so I totally get that. Because again, talking about things we deal with as Black people in real life, moments wherein we share our experience, and someone under the pretense of allyship says, oh yeah, well, as you know, as this marginalized body or this marginalized person, I've also experienced that, and that can cause a lot of
it's not the trauma Olympics.
Exactly. And so for you guys to take that and just say, all right, you know what, this isn't about us, it's not about what we've got going on, we just know this is wrong, and like we'll do whatever we can to assist, even if maybe like people are coming at us a little bit rude, like, you know, people are pointing guns at us or treating us like outsiders. The fact that you guys all understood sort of like, okay, you know what, for people who have been put away like this, for them to be so insular, for them to not trust outsiders, you kind of just like took that in stride. And I think that's like, there's so much that I love that we got an all Black cast to do this and still got to have this like great space adventure, because I feel like there's such a great metaphor for allyship in this. And I think to see 3 literal Black people go on an adventure where the metaphor is about Black people, and to see them still take that approach towards allyship of, I don't have to speak, I don't have to over talk, I just have to listen and boost the voices of the people who matter for this.
It's because we've all been through it.
Exactly. And I have to say, and I am so proud of myself for holding it together, that trick at the end there where you made Tassir Prefector of the Ring, I didn't that wasn't planned. Didn't have that coming.
That was the backup because he hadn't thrown it out the window yet. So
yeah, like that, literally didn't see that coming. I thought it was perfect and beautiful. I love you guys so much. Oh man, it was so great. I loved every part of this. It was so much fun. 3.5 weeks of like barely any sleep to prep for this, and was more than worth it. I would do it all again tomorrow if I had to.
Absolutely.
Seriously. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to drop off? Any last nuggets of wisdom you want to drop on the chat before we dismiss the class?
I would suggest keep up the interesting things like your little chase scene, because that was a fun change of pace from we all stand around in the same open alley and just swing at each other till everyone falls down. Actually,
yeah, I'm so glad you guys liked that. The chase scene was a handwritten mechanic. I told my players this, the chat. I'll talk about it more probably on TPR, but I hand wrote the mechanic for the chase scene, and I spent so much time being like, does this suck? I don't know if this works or not, but it seemed like it played out pretty well. We had fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much. If there's any other feedback you want to give to me, please drop it to me. You guys all have my contact now. Yeah. I want to play with all of you going forward.
Absolutely.
And some more things.
Absolutely.
100%.
So trust and believe me, whether it's here on TPK or on my channel or somewhere else, you will be seeing me with these players again sometime soon. I think they're great and fun, and I want to work with all of them as soon as I possibly can. With that said and done, it is approaching the midnight hour, so I'm going to let all you lovelies get ready for your evenings. Thank you again to my lovely, amazing players for playing with me and for making this adventure work. It could not have happened without you. Thank you to you audiences for hanging out with me and for making the chat super active and live, and for all of your endless good tables and your incredibly generous donations. I can't thank you guys enough. Holy shit. I have been Young Foxy, your game master. Thank you guys so much for everything you've done. Have a wonderful, lovely, amazing night. Stay safe. And remember to always, always, always fight for those of us who are most oppressed by the world. Always make space for Black voices. Thank you guys so much, okay? I love you all and have a great night.
Good night,
everybody.